Are you ready for the ultimate Zarpado compilation facts? Subscribe and let's start. Golden poison dart frogs are so small they fit in the palm of your hand, but their skin is lethal. A single frog contains enough poison to kill 10 adults. Indigenous tribes use this toxin to coat the tips of their arrows. Its chemical intensity continues to baffle modern biologists. In 1938, a tire exploded on a train, causing unexpected chaos. The blast was so loud that passengers thought it was a terrorist attack. Authorities evacuated the cars without knowing the cause of the accident. They eventually discovered that the tire belonged to an experimental suspension system. Black bamboo is an exotic variety that grows at an astonishing rate. It can reach about 60 feet in just 4 years, creating dense forests in a short time. Its dark color makes it particularly coveted in architectural design. It is one of the fastest-growing plants in the world. The city of Pripyat, abandoned after the Chernobyl disaster, still has working traffic signals. Some lights flicker due to electrical faults that have persisted since the 1980s. They are relics that remain lit on streets where no one walks anymore. It is a haunting portrait of a place frozen in time. In Turkey, there is a castle made entirely of natural salt in the Hierapolis region. Its walls appear sculpted by artisans, but they were carved by wind and water. The salt crystals reflect the light and create white flashes. It is one of the most peculiar geological formations in the country. In Iceland, horses roam freely for most of the year in open fields. When winter approaches, they return to the stables on their own. This learned behavior has been passed down from generation to generation. It is a mixture of instinct, territorial memory, and living in harmony with the Nordic climate. Bomber beetles possess an explosive chemical mechanism within their bodies. When threatened, they expel a scalding jet of water that reaches about 212 degrees Fahrenheit. The liquid irritates and repels any predator. It is one of the most advanced defense systems in the insect kingdom. The leafcutter ant does not consume the leaves it carries. It takes them back to the nest to cultivate a fungus that serves as its true food. This cultivation is so efficient that it functions like a small underground farm. Its society is an evolutionary model of cooperation. In 1904, the first elevator powered entirely by electricity was inaugurated. Until then, elevators relied on steam or manual systems. This advancement revolutionized the construction of tall buildings. From that moment on, cities began to grow skyward. Ecuadorian cacao has varieties with unique aromas that develop notes similar to wine. This phenomenon depends on the soil, the altitude, and the fermentation of its beans. Chocolatiers from all over the world seek this exclusive quality. It is one of the most refined agricultural products on the planet. In Italy, there is a small town called Calcutta that was abandoned decades ago. Its inhabitants fled for fear that the ground would collapse. Years later, artists and bohemians returned to restore it. Today, it is a unique cultural enclave nestled in the mountains. Horseshoe crab blood is blue due to its internal copper content. This characteristic allows for the highly accurate detection of bacterial toxins. For this reason, it is used in the medical industry to verify the safety of medications. It is one of the world's most valuable biological resources. Sea slugs can rapidly change color to blend into their surroundings. They adjust their pigments according to the light and patterns on the seabed. This instant camouflage protects them from predators. Their skin acts as a living canvas that is constantly transforming. The basilisk lizard, known as the Jesus Christ lizard, can run across the water's surface thanks to its incredible speed, its enlarged legs, and the rapid movement of its tail. This ability only lasts a few seconds before it dives and continues swimming. Its technique has been studied to inspire designs in aquatic robotics. In Argentina, there is Laguna Colorada, a body of water that changes hues several times a year due to chemical reactions, microorganisms, and suspended minerals. Its colors can range from soft pink to intense red, creating a surreal natural spectacle. It is considered one of the most vibrant lagoons on the planet. The Atlas moth caterpillar has the surprising ability to emit an audible hiss to scare away its predators. This sound comes from an internal mechanism that abruptly expels air. Its size and coloration make it one of the most fascinating insects in the natural world. In 1969, a meteorite containing amino acids was discovered, providing evidence that the building blocks of life may exist beyond Earth. This meteorite, called Murchison, fell that year, and evidence was found within it that left-handed amino acids, which gave rise to life, could have originated in deep space. In Russia, there is the strange forest of crooked trees, where the trunks grow in perfect C-shaped curves. The cause remains debated. Theories point to mutations, climatic phenomena, or ancient human intervention. The place is considered a botanical enigma. Sea snakes are able to exhale small air bubbles to adjust their buoyancy, allowing them to breathe more easily near the surface. This mechanism helps them conserve energy when swimming long distances. The lotus flower has seeds that can remain underwater and dormant for decades before germinating. Its resilience has been the subject of studies on plant longevity. For this reason, it is considered a symbol of rebirth in several Asian cultures. In Egypt, cat mummies adorned with gold have been found, demonstrating the enormous spiritual value these animals held. Felines were seen as protectors against evil spirits and diseases. Some burials included sarcophagi carved especially for them. African gray parrots are notable for their exceptional intelligence. They can learn more than 1,000 words and understand concepts such as shapes, colors, and quantities. Their ability to mimic human voices is so accurate that they can deceive other animals and even unsuspecting people. In Norway, there is a museum dedicated exclusively to cheese, where more than 500 varieties are exhibited. The site documents centuries of Scandinavian cheesemaking tradition and preserves antique tools. It is a unique destination for food lovers. Sea snails possess a tooth structure called a radula, composed of hundreds of micro-teeth that function like a scraping band. They use it to pierce shells or scrape algae. It is one of nature's most resilient dental systems. In Greece, there are caves with gigantic gypsum crystals that can be more than 33 feet in length. These formations require thousands of years of stability to grow. The caves are so fragile that only authorized scientists are allowed access. The jaguar, the strongest feline in the Americas, possesses a bite so powerful that it can pierce the shells of adult turtles. Its technique consists of biting directly into the skull or the back of the prey's neck. This makes it a super predator of the jungle. In New Zealand, there are insects that mimic dried leaves with astonishing accuracy, from their texture to tiny spots that resemble fungi. This perfect camouflage makes them virtually invisible to predators. They are emblematic examples of adaptive evolution. Blue ice forms when layers of snow are compressed for centuries and expel air bubbles, leaving behind pure ice that refracts light in a unique way. This phenomenon can be seen in ancient glaciers. Its hypnotic color seems otherworldly. In 2001, Wikipedia launched its platform with just 20,000 articles created by volunteer contributors. In less than 2 decades, it became the largest encyclopedia ever created by humankind. The Nokia 1100 was released in 2003 and remains the best-selling mobile phone in history, with over 250 million units sold. Its success was due to its durability, long battery life, and affordable price. It was a device designed to function even in extreme conditions. Hey Ya by Outkast became one of the first viral songs without relying on social media. Its catchy rhythm, accompanied by an iconic music video, spread thanks to radio, forums, and word-of-mouth recommendations. It achieved global popularity and dominated music charts for months. The first Twilight book, written by Stephenie Meyer, was rejected by 14 publishers before being accepted. Once published, it became a worldwide literary phenomenon. The best-selling book of the 2000s was Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. Its release generated lines at bookstores and unprecedented global anticipation. It concluded a saga that profoundly impacted young adult literature. Its influence remains strong among new generations of readers. The TikTok we know today emerged from the merger with Musical LY, a lip-syncing app popular among teenagers. When both platforms joined forces in 2018, the experience was radically transformed. This allowed TikTok to grow at an explosive rate. Today, it is one of the most influential social networks in the world. The Kindle sold out in less than 6 hours upon its launch in 2007. Demand exceeded all of Amazon's expectations. Readers appreciated its lightweight design, its e-ink screen, and the ability to carry hundreds of books. It was a watershed moment for the digital publishing market. The bacterium Deinococcus radiodurans is one of the most resilient organisms on the planet and can survive levels of radiation that would kill a human in seconds. Its DNA is repaired with extraordinary efficiency, even after being almost completely fragmented. That is why it is called the iron bacteria. In Australia, kangaroos possess a unique mechanism that allows them to shift gears while running without altering their breathing rate. Their muscular and tendon system stores elastic energy that optimizes each hop. This makes them some of the most efficient runners in the animal kingdom. Sunfish sometimes float upside down near the surface for hours, a behavior interpreted as resting or as a strategy to bask in the sunlight. Their motionless appearance confuses fishermen and divers who think they are sick. In Germany, there is a picturesque town called Rothenburg where all the lampposts are decorated with colorful mosaics. Each design was created by local artists and residents, turning the streets into an open-air museum. It is an example of permanent community art. Sparrow saliva contains enzymes that help soften and break down hard seeds, making them easier to digest. This mechanism allows them to take advantage of foods that other birds cannot easily consume. They also use it to feed their young. Fossil amber can encapsulate insects and small plant fragments for millions of years, preserving them in exquisite detail. These samples act as time capsules that reveal what entire ecosystems of the past were like. They are paleontological treasures. In Japan, there are trains that function as mobile libraries, where passengers can read during the journey and return the books at the end of the line. This initiative promotes reading in rural areas. The train cars are decorated like study rooms. Shakira made history by becoming the first artist to surpass 100 million followers on Facebook. Her digital presence demonstrated the global reach of Latin music. This achievement solidified her influence beyond the stage. It was a milestone that marked a new era for the relationship between artists and social media. YouTube Rewind 2018 became the most disliked video in the platform's history. Viewers criticized it for being disconnected from the reality of creators and trends. This massive backlash sparked a global conversation about authenticity on the internet. Since then, the series has been marked as an emblematic case of negative public response. In 2007, Kindle Direct Publishing was launched, Amazon's self-publishing platform that revolutionized the publishing market. It allowed thousands of writers to publish without intermediaries. It also democratized access to readers worldwide. It forever changed the digital book ecosystem. In Peru, there are mountains that change color with the seasons, Vinicunca being the most famous for its natural mineral bands. Its colors intensify with the humidity and sunlight, creating an almost surreal landscape. It is one of the most photographed spots in the Andes. The kiwi's DNA contains more genes than that of humans, making it a genetically complex organism despite its simple appearance. This genetic abundance is linked to its ancient evolution. Studies continue to reveal unexpected functions in its genome. The ii lemur uses its elongated middle finger to drill into wood and extract hidden insects, acting as a natural tool. This method is called percussive foraging. Its unique appearance distinguishes it among all primates. In Finland, floating saunas that sail across frozen lakes during winter are popular. Users enjoy the hot steam surrounded by Arctic landscapes. This tradition blends relaxation and adventure in equal measure. The alga Caulerpa taxifolia can regenerate completely from tiny fragments, making it highly invasive when introduced to new ecosystems. Its rapid growth alters entire marine habitats, It is one of the most studied species in marine biology. In Iceland, there are rivers that are naturally heated by underground volcanic activity, creating flowing hot springs. These warm rivers are unique in the world. They are popular destinations for geothermal nature enthusiasts. The Patu digua spider is the smallest in the world, measuring less than 1/25th of an inch in length, almost invisible to the naked eye. Despite its minuscule size, it produces functional webs. It is an extreme example of miniaturization in arachnids. In 1980, Mount St. Helens erupted, an event so powerful that it altered the regional climate for years. Its eruptive column reached tens of miles into the sky. It is one of the most studied volcanic events of the 20th century. Amazon acquired Twitch in 2014, understanding the potential of live streaming before anyone else. The platform went from being a niche site to dominating the streaming of video games and interactive events. The acquisition spurred technological improvements and monetization for creators. Today, it is one of the pillars of digital entertainment. Daft Punk's album, Random Access Memories, won the Grammy for Album of the Year in 2014, marking a triumphant return for the duo. The meticulous production and homage to the music of the 70s and 80s captivated audiences. Get Lucky became a global anthem. The Kindle Paperwhite popularized front lighting in e-readers, allowing users to read in the dark without glare. Its e-ink screen simulated real paper. The device boosted digital reading among millions of users. It was a key leap in the evolution of the e-book. Blue morpho butterflies have wings that do not get their color from a pigment, but from nanostructures that manipulate light to reflect an intense blue. This phenomenon is called structural coloration and is so efficient that it does not degrade over time, which is why their wings continue to shine even when damaged. The goblin shark has a long, flat snout covered in electroreceptors that allow it to detect the electricity emitted by other animals. Thanks to this ability, it can hunt in the total darkness of the deep sea, where its extendable jaw springs forward to capture prey. Vampire bats have saliva with natural anticoagulants that prevent blood from clotting while they feed. These compounds have been studied for the development of drugs to treat conditions such as thrombosis or cardiovascular diseases in humans. Moon jellyfish can move vertically using water currents that they control through gentle, rhythmic contractions in their bell. Their movement is so efficient that it expends little energy, allowing them to travel great distances despite their apparent fragility. Deep-sea fish possess bioluminescent organs that they use to attract prey in the absolute darkness of the deep ocean. These lights function as lures or communication signals and are part of an ecosystem where natural light never reaches. The puffer frog has the ability to inflate its body when it feels threatened, adopting a larger and more intimidating appearance to avoid predators. This defensive mechanism is quick and effective, making it difficult for larger animals to swallow or attack it. In 2023, Barbie achieved the highest box office gross for a film directed by a woman thanks to its combination of humor, social commentary, and vibrant aesthetics. Marketing and online conversation boosted its popularity. Its release became a global event. It marked a historic record for Greta Gerwig. Rosalia revolutionized Latin music with El Malquer, combining flamenco, electronica, and pop. The album was praised for its innovation and conceptual production. Its visual style reinforced her international identity. From there, she solidified her status as a global star. The Kobo e-reader became popular outside the United States due to its compatibility with multiple formats and its independent catalog. It offered alternatives to the closed Kindle ecosystem. Its international focus attracted readers from different regions. Over time, it gained a loyal community. Ariana Grande achieved 7 songs in the top 10 simultaneously, a feat only legendary artists had accomplished. Her impact stemmed from streaming and a massive fan base. The album responsible for this achievement became an instant hit. It was a pivotal moment in her career. Elon Musk unveiled the Cybertruck in 2019 with a window that was accidentally shattered during the demonstration. The incident instantly went viral. Despite the mishap, the presentation increased public interest. The vehicle's design sparked a global debate. Kendrick Lamar won the Pulitzer Prize in 2018, a historic achievement for a hip-hop artist. His album, DAMM, was recognized for its lyrical depth and cultural relevance. The award validated the genre in academic circles. It was a pivotal moment for contemporary music. The PS3 was the first console with a built-in Blu-ray player, which propelled the format in the high-definition disc war. Despite its high initial price, the integrated player was a significant advantage. It allowed millions to adopt the new standard. Blu-ray ultimately prevailed over HD DVD. In 2009, the Black Eyed Peas dominated the Billboard charts for 26 consecutive weeks, thanks to Boom Boom Pow and I Got a Feeling. The combination of electronic and pop music defined the sound of the decade. Their songs became ubiquitous at parties and on the radio. It was one of the most impressive achievements in modern music. Chicklings possess the remarkable ability to mimic the calls of other species when they are very young, which helps them avoid predators. This vocal mimicry acts as sound camouflage, confusing those that rely on hearing to detect their prey in the wild. Lizards can voluntarily detach their tails when caught by a predator, letting them twitch for a few seconds as a distraction. Over time, they regenerate a new tail, which is usually stiffer and less perfect than the original but sufficient for their survival. Amazon parrots typically form lifelong pairs and maintain their bond through perfectly synchronized duets. These shared melodies not only strengthen their relationship but also serve to defend territory and communicate with other flocks. Squid can expel a cloud of ink that acts as a visual screen, rendering them virtually invisible to predators for brief seconds. This ink also contains compounds that confuse the sense of smell, giving them time to escape quickly. Tree frogs can adhere to vertical surfaces thanks to adhesive pads on their toes, composed of microstructures that create suction. This adaptation allows them to climb leaves, trunks, and walls with ease, escaping terrestrial predators. In Japan, bonsai gardens can house trees over 500 years old, carefully pruned and maintained by generations of caretakers. Despite their small size, they retain all the characteristics of an adult tree, becoming true living works of art. Tubeworms can live around volcanic vents without oxygen, feeding on chemical compounds emitted from the deep sea. Their symbiotic relationship with internal bacteria allows them to survive in one of the most extreme environments on the planet. In 2014, Flappy Bird became a global phenomenon due to its extreme difficulty and simple design. However, its creator, Dong Nguyen, withdrew it from the market despite generating thousands of dollars daily in advertising revenue. He stated that the game had become too addictive and that the media attention affected him. The Arrowverse revitalized interest in superhero television series with a shared universe that included multiple characters and crossovers. Its success demonstrated that comic book stories could triumph outside of film. Furthermore, it allowed for experimentation with longer narratives and connections between shows. Its legacy paved the way for more series in the genre. Rain frogs have the amazing ability to absorb water through their skin in just a few seconds. This allows them to hydrate quickly in dry environments, without needing to drink water directly. Their skin acts like a biological sponge, ensuring their survival in ecosystems where water sources are scarce or temporary. Scorpions glow under ultraviolet light due to compounds present in their exoskeleton. Although the exact function of this fluorescence is still being investigated, it is believed that it could serve as a mechanism for protection, communication, or detecting ambient light. Their glow allows them to be easily detected at night with a UV flashlight. Desert plants have the ability to remain completely dormant for years without water. When it finally rains, they reactivate their metabolism in a matter of hours, rapidly sprouting leaves and flowers. This extreme adaptation guarantees their survival in the driest environments on the planet. Carnivorous plants in South Africa have the ability to digest whole insects in less than a minute. Their leaves contain powerful enzymes that quickly break down their prey, allowing them to absorb essential nutrients. This adaptation helps them survive in mineral-poor soils. New Zealand's kakapo parrots are nocturnal, heavy birds that are completely flightless. They move by walking or climbing, depending on the forest vegetation. Despite these limitations, They have survived thanks to their camouflage and the historical absence of predators in their natural environment. Blue lobsters are extremely rare, appearing in approximately 1 in every 2 million individuals. Their unique color is due to a genetic mutation that alters pigment production. When they do appear, they often become true biological treasures for researchers and aquariums. Angelfish possess an amazing ability to recognize their companions and establish social hierarchies. Each individual distinguishes specific color patterns and behaviors, which facilitates coexistence in groups. This social intelligence allows them to avoid unnecessary conflicts within their community. Surinamese toads have a unique reproductive system. The female incubates the eggs inside her own back. Her skin transforms into small cavities where the embryos grow protected. When they are ready, they emerge directly as fully formed little toads. Orb-weaving spiders can modify the shape and structure of their webs, depending on the type of prey available. They adjust the size, tension, and distance between threads to maximize their hunting efficiency. This flexibility makes them master builders of the animal kingdom. The Mandalorian revived enthusiasm for Star Wars by presenting a story accessible even to those who did not follow the saga. Its space western style and the introduction of Grogu turned it into a cultural phenomenon. It also boosted the quality of the franchise's television productions. It was key to the growth of Disney+. Seahorses possess a prehensile tail that they use to cling to marine plants and avoid being swept away by currents. This tail is so flexible and strong that it can grasp thin stems without damaging them, allowing them to maintain their position while hunting small crustaceans. In Brazil, trees like Harpochilus niceanus have been recorded whose fruits emit a faint glow that attracts pollinating bats at night. This natural luminescence is not as bright as a lamp, but it is enough to guide the animals to the flowers, ensuring seed dispersal in rainforest areas. Red algae can survive frozen for months under layers of ice in polar regions, resuming their growth when light returns. This extreme resistance is due to antifreeze proteins that prevent their cells from being damaged, allowing them to thrive in harsh environments. Whale sharks can filter more than 1,500 gallons of water per hour while swimming with their mouths open, capturing plankton and small fish. Despite their gigantic size, their diet is surprisingly delicate, based on tiny organisms that float in the surface layers of the ocean. Dragonflies are able to fly backward thanks to the independent movement of their 4 wings, which they can beat at different angles. This control allows them to maneuver with astonishing precision, stop abruptly, or change direction instantly while hunting in mid-flight. River turtles can recognize their caretakers through visual and auditory cues, developing feeding and behavioral routines. Although they are often thought to have poor memory, these species demonstrate a remarkable learning capacity that allows them to adapt to controlled environments. Camels have thick pads on the soles of their feet that allow them to walk on extremely hot sand without burning. These structures expand when they step, providing stability and preventing them from sinking into soft dunes during their long desert journeys. Fiddler crabs possess an enormous claw that they use to communicate through rhythmic movements that resemble greetings. This claw also serves to fight for territory or attract mates, becoming a multifunctional tool within their complex social behavior. Praying mantises can rotate their heads almost 180 degrees, a unique ability among predatory insects. This rotation allows them to precisely monitor their surroundings, locate prey, and avoid threats without moving the rest of their body, remaining camouflaged among the leaves. Sea lions can sleep while floating in the water, using gentle currents that keep them drifting effortlessly. To avoid danger, they rest with only half their brain active, a mechanism that allows them to remain alert to predators or changes in their environment. Anteaters have tongues that can measure up to about 2 feet, covered in a sticky substance that traps hundreds of insects with each flick. Their tongues move with astonishing speed, allowing them to devour entire nests in a matter of minutes. In Australia, some snakes have the ability to climb trees to hunt birds. They achieve this through incredible muscle control, coiling around trunks and branches for stability. This behavior allows them to access entire nests, making them highly efficient predators. Lanternfish use bioluminescent organs to produce their own light in the darkness of the ocean. With these lights, they attract small prey that swim toward the glow, unaware that they are approaching the predator's mouth. This mechanism is essential in areas where sunlight does not reach. Carnivorous plants can remember when prey has touched their leaves. This memory is very brief, but enough to activate closing mechanisms only if the leaf receives 2 consecutive stimuli within a few seconds. This way, they avoid wasting energy trapping leaf fragments or raindrops. In Iceland, geothermal heat is used not only for swimming pools but also to heat entire greenhouses. Thanks to this, the country can grow vegetables and fruits, even tropical ones, in environments where the climate would normally prevent it. The energy is clean, constant, and highly efficient. Wolves can communicate through howls that travel over 6 miles. These sounds not only help keep the pack together, but also warn rival wolves of their territory. Each wolf has a unique howl, recognizable by its group. Fire corals possess specialized cells called nematocysts, capable of injecting toxins upon the slightest contact. Their sting can be as painful as a jellyfish sting and serves as both a defense mechanism and a method for capturing prey in tropical waters. In Peru, several Andean caves preserve mummies over 2,000 years old, protected by the dry and stable climate. Some retain intact tissues, hair, and even clothing. These mummies provide invaluable information about pre-Incan cultures. Black bears are surprisingly good climbers. Thanks to their curved claws and muscular strength, they can climb trees at high speed, especially when they need to escape or protect their cubs. Many children underestimate them because of their size. Pharaoh ants are famous for forming gigantic colonies that can include millions of individuals. They have multiple queens and expand their nests into extensive networks, making them extremely difficult to eradicate once established in a building. In Mexico, there are lagoons like Laguna Verde, capable of changing color thanks to the presence of pigmented algae. These microalgae react to sunlight, temperature, and water composition, transforming the surface into shades of green, turquoise, or blue. The phenomenon turns these bodies of water into landscapes that seem unreal. Stick insects can remain completely motionless for days on end to avoid predators. Their exceptional camouflage, mimicking branches or dry leaves, allows them to go unnoticed even when in plain sight. This strategy makes immobility their primary survival tool. Mandarin fish possess such intense colors that they even reflect ultraviolet light, creating patterns that only other species can perceive. Their bright colors serve as a mating signal and a warning to predators due to toxic substances present in their skin. They are considered one of the most beautiful fish in the ocean. Leatherback turtles are extraordinary swimmers and can reach speeds of over 21 miles per hour during their long migrations. They have large flippers and a streamlined body that reduces friction in the water. These abilities allow them to travel across entire oceans to feed and reproduce. Dumbo octopuses get their name from the ear, like fins that protrude from their heads. These fins allow them to move smoothly through the ocean depths, with a style that resembles a slow, fluttering motion. Their peculiar appearance makes them one of the most recognizable cephalopods. In Madagascar, there are lemurs whose tails are longer than their bodies. This characteristic helps them balance while leaping between trees and communicate through visual signals. Their long tails also serve as a social tool within their groups. Goliath beetles are among the strongest insects on the planet, capable of lifting up to about 850 times their own weight. This extraordinary strength is due to their compact musculature and tough exoskeleton. Their size and power make them fascinating to entomologists worldwide. Cyberpunk 2077 had one of the most controversial launches in modern gaming history. Its massive anticipation contrasted sharply with severe technical issues on consoles. Even so, its narrative, aesthetics, and ambition were recognized by players. Over time, multiple updates significantly improved the experience. Napoleon Bonaparte's army suffered an unusual defeat in 1807 against a large colony of rabbits. After signing a peace treaty, Napoleon organized a hunt to celebrate, but the released rabbits, instead of fleeing, charged at him. The attack by thousands of rabbits overwhelmed and scattered the soldiers, forcing Napoleon to retreat. The astronomer and scientist Galileo Galilei was initially buried without a proper grave after his death in 1642 due to his conviction for heresy. A century later, his remains were moved to a mausoleum. During the exhumation, an admirer stole 3 fingers, a vertebra, and a tooth. The fingers are on display today at the Galileo Museum in Florence. The famous Phaistos disc, a baked clay disc from Minoan, Crete, is one of archaeology's greatest enigmas. The disc is covered with a spiral pattern of hieroglyphic seals, unlike any other Cretan script. Its purpose and message remain unsolved. Despite numerous attempts at decipherment, Nutella was invented in Italy during World War II by confectioner Pietro Ferrero. Faced with a cocoa shortage, Ferrero added hazelnuts to the mixture to make the chocolate go further. The resulting product, originally a solid block, was transformed into the spreadable cream we know today. The bacterium Deinococcus radiodurans has the remarkable ability to survive extremely high levels of radiation. Its resistance is such that it has earned the nickname Conan the bacteria. Its ability to efficiently repair its own DNA makes it an organism of great interest for space research. The 1939 film Gone with the Wind was the first color film to win the Academy Award for Best Picture. Its use of the 3-strip Technicolor process was revolutionary, employing 3 separate negatives to record the primary colors. This gave the film its vibrant and rich color palette. NASA had to stop using Microsoft's WordArt software program in its internal presentations. The reason was that the excessive use of curved fonts and garish colors was considered unprofessional. The incident became a humorous example of how even serious organizations can fall prey to software fads. The tiramisu dessert was invented in the 1960s in the city of Treviso, Italy, although its exact origin is hotly debated. The word means lift me up or cheer me up in Italian. It is believed that its name comes from its energizing ingredients: coffee, cocoa, and mascarpone cheese. The famous door scene in the 1997 film Titanic, where Rose floats but Jack cannot fit, sparked controversy over whether both characters could have fit. The filmmakers argued that the issue was not just space, but also the buoyancy and stability of the makeshift raft. Lenticular clouds are stationary formations shaped like a lens or flying saucer that form in mountainous areas. They are created when moist air flows over mountains and condenses on top of stationary airwaves. They are often mistaken for UFOs due to their unusually smooth and flat shape. There is an area in central Argentina, near the city of Córdoba, that has recorded the highest frequency of lightning in the world. This area is known as the Pampa El Rayo, or Pampa de los Relámpagos, Pampa of Lightning. This extremely high electrical activity surpasses even the famous Catatumbo lightning in Venezuela. The Citarum River in Indonesia, once considered one of the dirtiest rivers in the world, contains more microplastics than fish in its waters. The river, which flows through the capital, Jakarta, reflects the global plastic pollution crisis, severely impacting millions of people who depend on it for irrigation and domestic use. The Great Blue Hole in Belize is a massive, almost perfectly circular underwater sinkhole, about 984 feet wide and about 410 feet deep. This sinkhole formed during the last ice age, when sea levels were much lower, and it was a limestone cave that was later flooded. In cricket, there is a term called a mankad, used when a bowler removes a batsman who has stepped too far out of bounds before the ball is even delivered. It is named after the Indian player Vinu Mankad. It is the ultimate act of treachery on the field. Tonic water glows under ultraviolet light because it contains quinine, a compound used to give it its characteristic bitter taste and which exhibits fluorescent properties. Quinine was historically used to prevent malaria, leading to the famous invention of the gin and tonic by British officers in India to make taking the medicine more palatable. L'Oreal's famous slogan, "Because I am worth it," was created by Elon Specht, a 23-year-old copywriter. At a time when beauty advertising focused on what women could do to please men, Specht challenged that narrative, creating a message of self-affirmation and empowerment, transforming the brand. The Amazon River in South America, famous for its volume of water, is not only the largest in that respect, but it also has a subterranean twin river. The Hamza River flows about 2.5 miles below the Amazon and is actually wider than the Amazon itself, although its flow is much smaller. The Hamza was discovered in 2011 and flows slowly through porous rock, a discovery that redefined the hydrology of the Amazon basin. The shortest song ever released was You Suffer by the British grindcore band Napalm Death, which lasts exactly 1,316 seconds. The song appears on their 1987 album Scum and has become an extreme rock legend. It is literally a shouted syllable, and due to its extreme brevity, holds a Guinness World Record for being the shortest song ever recorded. Lake Karachay in Russia is considered by some to be the most polluted place on the planet, with extremely high levels of radiation. It served as a dumping ground for radioactive waste from a nearby secret nuclear plant during the Cold War. The radiation was so intense that, at its worst, being near the shore for an hour could be fatal. The food coloring tartrazine E102, often used to give a bright yellow hue to sweets, drinks, and snacks, has been the subject of controversy. Tartrazine has been found to be linked to hyperactivity in some children, leading to its being banned or heavily regulated in several European countries. The Portuguese explorer Ferdinand Magellan was killed in the Philippines by the local leader Lapu-Lapu in 1521, before his expedition could complete the first circumnavigation of the world. Magellan was killed in a spear attack for his involvement in a local tribal dispute, meaning that, ironically, the man whose name is linked to the greatest feat of exploration never personally completed it. The city of Vigan in the Philippines is a remarkable example of a Spanish colonial city that has retained its architecture almost intact despite surviving World War II and numerous natural disasters. It is said that Vigan was spared from bombing in 1945 because a Japanese officer married to a local woman negotiated with the Americans to have it declared an open city and avoid its destruction. In Milan, Italy, there is a law that, with the exception of funerals or hospitals, requires people to always keep a smile on their face. The law comes from an old Austro-Hungarian statute. Although it is no longer enforced, the mere idea that the government can force you to be happy in public is a source of humor about bureaucracy. One more reason to love Italian coffee, at least it gives you an excuse to smile. The so-called world's most dangerous cheese is Casu Marzu, from Sardinia, Italy, which literally translates as rotten cheese. This sheep's milk cheese contains live cheese fly larvae that are intentionally introduced to aid fermentation. It is considered dangerous because the larvae can survive stomach acid, causing intestinal problems. The famous Little Mermaid statue in Copenhagen, Denmark, has been vandalized numerous times. Over the years, it has been decapitated twice, had an arm cut off, been covered in paint, and was even thrown into the sea by vandals. Despite the recurring attacks, the city repairs it and returns it to its place, making it a symbol of cultural resilience. The famous slogan "Diamonds are forever" was created in 1947 for the De Beers Diamond Company. This phrase, created by copywriter Francis Garrity, achieved a marketing feat by linking a luxury product with the emotion of love and marriage. It transformed diamonds, previously relatively uncommon as engagement rings, into an essential element of Western wedding tradition. There is a place known as Horsetail Fall in Yosemite National Park, United States. For just a few weeks in late February, if specific atmospheric and snow conditions are met, the setting sun strikes the waterfall at the perfect angle, illuminating it so that it appears to be burning with molten lava. Egypt is one of the few countries that has a city with the same name as its country, Cairo al-Qahira, and the nation of Egypt. However, what is truly fascinating is that over 90% of the Egyptian population lives on only about 5.5% of its territory, concentrated along the banks of the Nile River. The rest is uninhabitable desert. During World War II, the German army had plans to train dogs to speak and read. They believed this would give them a strategic advantage. German scientists claimed that dogs could mimic human speech and communicate by pawing. The project was, obviously, a failure. In 1858, the Suez Canal faced an unusual dispute over the location of its Mediterranean terminus. The dispute was resolved through a contest between two engineers who were to dig wells to determine which location had the most available fresh water. The winning location became modern-day Port Said. Medieval knights often used the art of memory, or method of loci, to memorize long lists of names, genealogies, or biblical passages. This technique involved associating each item on the list with a specific location within a familiar place, such as their castle or chapel, and then mentally walking through that location to recall the items. The Tunguska incident in Siberia in 1908 is one of the greatest unsolved mysteries. A massive explosion leveled about 2,000 square miles of forest. It is believed to have been caused by the impact of a meteorite or comet in the air, about 3 to 6 miles above the surface. The strange thing is that, unlike a normal impact, no crater was ever found, suggesting that the object completely disintegrated before hitting the ground. The New Adabu ship graveyard in Mauritania is one of the largest ship graveyards in the world. The bay surrounding the city is the final destination for hundreds of abandoned vessels, often due to a lack of regulations and the high cost of dismantling them. Beavers have the ability to hold their breath underwater for up to 15 minutes. This is essential for their dam building work. The fact becomes humorous when you compare it to a human in a swimming pool and consider that the beaver is probably the only animal that bothers to build its own pool and can then stay at the bottom without a care. In the 1973 film The Exorcist, Linda Blair Regan's visible breath in the cold room was not a special effect, but an intentional, practical effect. The production team had to install an industrial air conditioning system and liquid nitrogen tanks to lower the temperature of the set to about 30 degrees Fahrenheit or lower. This effort made the actors' visible breathing realistic and believable, contributing to the film's chilling atmosphere. Kellogg's cereal company was one of the first to use radio to directly target children in its advertising campaigns. In 1930, they sponsored the radio program The Singing Lady, a folk story program. By appealing to children, the brand achieved a child pressure effect, encouraging parents to buy their products at the supermarket. Waiter's race is a sport practiced worldwide, especially in France. The objective is to complete a race while carrying a tray with a bottle and glasses filled with liquid without spilling a drop and without running. The emphasis is on the speed of the light step and stability. It is a test of balance and grace that celebrates professional service. Ajua canine wrestling is an unusual sport in Mexico that combines professional wrestling with the entertainment of a mascot, a wrestler dressed as a dog or other animal. The term Ajua is a Mexican exclamation of excitement. These wrestlers are typically highly acrobatic and add an element of comedy and spectacle to the seriousness of traditional wrestling. The largest object in the solar system after the Sun is Jupiter, and its size is so immense that all the other planets, moons, and asteroids in the solar system could fit inside it. In fact, Jupiter is so massive that the center of gravity between Jupiter and the Sun is not located inside the Sun, but at a point just outside its surface, demonstrating its enormous gravitational influence. The Nebra disk is a bronze plaque about 3,600 years old, found in Germany that shows what are believed to be the oldest known depictions of celestial phenomena. It shows the moon, the sun, or a full moon, and the Pleiades. This disk was a sophisticated astronomical instrument that allowed Bronze Age people to determine the solstices and planting times. In 2004, the Hubble Space Telescope captured one of its most iconic images of the Crab Nebula in unprecedented detail. This photograph allowed for a better study of the supernova remnant's internal structure. It also revealed energy patterns that broadened our understanding of nebula behavior. In 2015, the New Horizons probe made a historic flyby of Pluto, sending back the first close-up images of the dwarf planet. The photographs revealed a world more active and complex than expected. Icy mountains, glowing plains, and mysterious formations appeared for the first time to human eyes. This milestone changed our understanding of the boundaries of the solar system. The word selfie was chosen as Word of the Year by the Oxford Dictionaries in 2013 due to its enormous social presence. The explosion of front-facing cameras and social media facilitated its spread. The concept redefined the relationship with self-image and digital communication. Since then, it has become a fundamental part of everyday language. The film Parasite, released in 2019, made history by becoming the first non-English language film to win the Oscar for Best Picture. Its social commentary, dark humor, and narrative structure captivated audiences worldwide. Director Bong Joon-ho's work redefined the boundaries of international cinema. It also paved the way for greater diversity in Hollywood. The Aral Sea shrank drastically between 2000 and 2020 due to the diversion of its feeder rivers. What was once one of the world's largest lakes was partially transformed into desert. This change affected entire ecosystems and human communities. The Chicxulub crater was drilled in 2016 to study the formation of the impact that caused the extinction of the dinosaurs. The mission allowed for the analysis of deep rocks never before examined. Its results revealed details about the immediate effects of the impact. These studies helped to understand how life on Earth changed after the event. Athlete Eliud Kipchoge broke the 2-hour marathon barrier in 2019 during a controlled event. Although not recognized as an official record, his feat demonstrated human potential. The achievement required special conditions, advanced technology, and a support team. The asteroid Apophis will make a notable close approach to Earth in 2029, though it poses no threat. Its trajectory has been calculated with great precision by the scientific community. This event will allow scientists to study it from an unusual distance. It will be a unique opportunity to observe a large, nearby object. In 2020, Billie Eilish became the youngest person to win all 4 major Grammy categories. Her innovative style and artistic identity redefined contemporary pop. Her minimalist and emotive music captured global attention. Her success demonstrated the creative power of new generations. The Deep Sea Challenge expedition, led by James Cameron in 2012, descended to the Mariana Trench, the deepest point in the ocean. The journey yielded unprecedented images and scientific samples. Their feat demonstrated the possibility of exploring the planet's most extreme regions. Dalgona coffee became a viral phenomenon during the 2020 pandemic. Its simple and aesthetically pleasing preparation made it perfect for social media. Millions of users replicated the recipe at home during lockdowns. It became a symbol of culinary creativity in difficult times. The eruption of the Eyjafjallajökull volcano in 2010 paralyzed European air traffic for weeks. Volcanic ash spread through the sky, forcing the cancellation of thousands of flights. The event highlighted the vulnerability of global transportation to nature. Foo Fighters established themselves as headliners at major festivals between 2000 and 2010. Their energetic live performances and robust discography made them icons of modern rock. The band maintained a close connection with their audience. This period elevated their global prestige. In 1925, the city of Nome, Alaska, suffered a diphtheria epidemic, and the only available serum was more than 620 miles away. A team of 20 mushers, a dog sled drivers, and more than 150 dogs took turns transporting the serum in a race against time through sub-zero temperatures. This mission, known as the Great Serum Run, was immortalized by the lead dog Balto, whose statue stands in Central Park, New York. During the French Revolution, there was an attempt to decimalize time. 10 days per week, 10 hours per day, 100 minutes per hour, and 100 seconds per minute were created. Although the system was implemented, it was never popularly adopted and was abandoned by Napoleon in 1805. The Kawah Ijen in Indonesia is famous for its blue flames. This phenomenon is not blue lava, but sulfuric gas escaping from volcanic fissures at high pressure. The gas ignites upon contact with air at temperatures exceeding 680 degrees Fahrenheit, creating a brilliant blue electric flame. It is only visible at night, making it a unique natural spectacle. The concert with the largest paid attendance in history was given by French musician Jean-Michel Jarre in Moscow in 1997, with an estimated 3.5 million people in attendance. The concert, held to commemorate the 850th anniversary of the city of Moscow, was a massive light and laser show, attracting an audience that far surpassed any previous musical event. The most stolen painting in history is the Ghent altarpiece. This 15th century masterpiece by Jan and Hubert van Eyck has been stolen at least 6 times and has been the target of 13 separate crimes, ranging from theft to vandalism. One of its panels has been missing since 1934 and is considered one of the world's greatest art mysteries. The first internet profile picture, or selfie, was taken by scientist Jennifer Ringley in 1996. She created a website, JennyCam, that streamed images of her life at 3-minute intervals. This was one of the first live streams, predating the explosion of reality television. Tug of War was an official sporting event at the first modern Olympic Games, from 1900 to 1920. Teams were made up of athletes who were often recruited from other disciplines, such as weightlifting. The event was discontinued, but it remains a competitive sport internationally. Rye bread is unusual because it lacks gluten, unlike wheat bread. Rye sourdough must be fermented with bacteria and yeast that produce acids which help form the bread structure. If you try to make rye bread without sourdough, the result is a dense, sticky texture. Actress Meryl Streep holds the record for most Academy Award nominations for acting, with 21 nominations to date. Her first nomination was for The Deer Hunter in 1978, and she has won the award 3 times. Her versatility and longevity in the industry are unmatched. In 1923, a shoemaker named George C. Parker became famous for repeatedly trying to sell the Brooklyn Bridge to unsuspecting tourists. Parker was a notorious con artist who also sold the Statue of Liberty. His scams became so famous that the phrase, "If you sell me the Brooklyn Bridge," became a common expression of naivete. The Karni Mata Temple in Rajasthan, India, is famous for its population of sacred rats. Thousands of rats, known as kabas, live at the temple and are venerated by Hindu devotees. They are believed to be the reincarnations of clan members. Drinking milk that has been touched by the rats or eating their leftover food is considered a great blessing, and seeing a white rat is especially auspicious. The parrotfish, a tropical reef fish, wraps itself in a kind of protective mucus to sleep. This mucus cocoon not only hides its scent from nocturnal predators, but can also act as an early warning system. If the cocoon breaks, the parrotfish wakes up and flees, like a sleeping bag made of slime with a built-in alarm. The rice field of God, or Daejong-yup on Jeju Island, South Korea, is home to an incredible piece of terrestrial art that is only visible from a bird's-eye view. The artist, Kubam-ju, planted different types of plants to create a giant mosaic depicting scenes from Korean mythology or local folklore. The first known astronomical observatory in history was Nabta Playa in the Nubian desert of Egypt, which predates Stonehenge by more than 1,000 years. Its stone circles are aligned with the stars and solstices. This demonstrates a sophisticated understanding of astronomy on the part of prehistoric societies. The famous Queen Cleopatra VII of Egypt was not Egyptian. She was of Macedonian Greek descent, a direct descendant of Ptolemy I Soter, one of Alexander the Great's generals. She was the first of her Ptolemaic line to learn the Egyptian language, showing an unusual respect for the people she ruled. The classical music composer Pyotr Ilyich Tchaikovsky was so famous during his lifetime that Tsar Alexander III granted him a lifetime pension so that he could devote himself entirely to composition. This provided him with the financial security to create some of his most famous works without the pressures of having to teach or conduct. The city of Troy from Greek mythology was long considered purely fictional, until archaeologist Heinrich Schliemann excavated Hisarlik, Turkey, in the 1870s. Schliemann found evidence of multiple layers of settlements dating back to the Bronze Age, confirming the existence of a city on the site. Soy sauce has a very different origin than is commonly believed. It was invented in China as a cheaper alternative to salt. Fermenting soybeans produced a strong, salty flavor that could stretch the supply of salt, which was expensive in ancient times. The famous Queen Marie Antoinette had a miniature village built for her at the Palace of Versailles, called the Hameau de la Reine. This village, complete with a dairy, farm, and mill, allowed her to play at being a humble peasant woman, an artificial escape from the rigid etiquette of the royal court. The famous singer-songwriter Elvis Presley never wrote any of the songs he sang. He was simply a performer who relied on outside writers. However, his name was listed as a co-writer on some songs, so he could claim half of the publishing royalties. Geckos are famous for their ability to climb smooth surfaces, even glass, without adhesives. Their toes are covered in millions of microscopic hairs called setae, which interact with the surface at a molecular level through van der Waals forces. This is one of the purest demonstrations of the physics of molecular attraction. The first virtual reality game was Sensorama, invented by Morton Heilig in 1957. The device was a booth that not only displayed 3D images, but also emitted vibrations, wind, and smells. It aimed for multi-sensory immersion. The tomato was considered poisonous by many Europeans well into the 19th century. This was because the wealthy used pewter dishes, an alloy with a high lead content. The acidity of the tomato leached the lead, causing poisoning. The poor, who ate from wooden plates, did not get sick. The first modern skyscraper was the Home Insurance Building in Chicago, built in 1885. It was only 10 stories tall, but it was groundbreaking because it was the first to use an internal steel frame instead of relying solely on load-bearing walls. This method allowed for the construction of much taller buildings and laid the foundation for modern architecture. The Okavango Delta in Botswana is a unique wetland. Unlike most deltas that flow into the sea, the Okavango flows inland and empties into the middle of the Kalahari Desert. This creates a massive, seasonal oasis that attracts spectacular wildlife during the dry season. Ants never sleep in the traditional sense. Instead, they take hundreds of tiny micro-naps throughout the day. These naps typically last about a minute and are frequent enough to ensure the colony remains awake 24 hours a day to carry out its tasks. The 1977 film Saturday Night Fever was filmed with John Travolta wearing very tight underwear for the famous dance scene. This was suggested by the choreographer to accentuate his hip movements. The film made Travolta a superstar and popularized disco music. Axe throwing has become a competitive sport popular in Canada and the United States. Competitors throw axes at a wooden target, similar to darts, but with strict safety rules. The sport requires an unusual combination of strength, accuracy, and good calculation of spin. Greenland is the world's largest non-continental island. It is geologically closer to North America, but politically and culturally linked to Europe's Denmark. Greenland's ice sheet is so massive that its weight has actually depressed the land beneath it at its center. Basketball is a sport played on an inflatable court with trampolines and volleyball nets. It combines elements of soccer, volleyball, and capoeira. Players can use any part of their body to hit the ball, and the attacker jumps off a springboard to perform spectacular spikes. It was invented in Spain in the early 2000s and has spread to more than 20 countries. Boxing was first legalized in the United States in the state of Massachusetts in 1920. Before that date, it was illegal in most states due to concerns about violence and gambling. Legalization was largely driven by the sport's popularity and the need for safety regulations. The musician David Bowie was known for his right eye, which appeared to have a permanently dilated pupil, giving him an unusual look. This was not a natural condition, but the result of a fight he had as a teenager with his friend George Underwood, which caused a condition called anisocoria. Buzkashi is so dangerous that modern rules have banned the use of heavy whips and certain types of sharp horseshoes that were historically common. Riders often wear special equipment to protect themselves from bumps and falls during the game. White chocolate was first popularized in the United States during World War I. American troops received rations that included bars of white chocolate because it had a longer shelf life than milk chocolate and melted less in hot weather. The first gasoline-powered car was not Carl Benz's in 1886. The first self-propelled vehicle was Cugnot's Fardier, a steam-powered tricycle built in 1769 for the French Army. However, its top speed was only about 2.5 miles per hour. and it could only run for 15 minutes. The country of Zimbabwe has the most official currencies in simultaneous use. Due to historic hyperinflation, the government authorized the use of multiple foreign currencies, including the US dollar, the South African rand, the British pound, and several Asian currencies. This made economic control incredibly complex. Extreme ironing is a risky sport that combines a domestic chore with an extreme outdoor activity. Participants iron clothes in dangerous or remote locations, such as while mountain climbing, underwater, or even while skydiving. It is a blend of performance and absurdity. The world's first fast food restaurant was not McDonald's. It was White Castle. Founded in 1921 in Wichita, Kansas, they focused on cleanliness and selling small, 5-cent hamburgers to convince the public that ground beef was safe, following food safety fears in the early 20th century. The famous outstretched arm Roman salute was not the standard greeting in ancient Rome. It was popularized in the 20th century by fascism. The true Roman salute was more like an extended hand at chest level or a form of handshake, and the outstretched arm salute was primarily used for oaths or military acclamations. Lotus leaves are famous for their superhydrophobic effect, meaning that water pools into perfectly spherical droplets and rolls off. This is due to a microscopically rough surface. As the droplets roll, they pick up dust and contaminants, keeping the leaf perfectly clean. This phenomenon is called the lotus effect. Actor Morgan Freeman became famous at a relatively late age. His first major film role did not come until he was 50, in the 1987 film Street Smart. Before that, he spent most of his career acting in theater and children's television. The famous opera singer Luciano Pavarotti was known for carrying a white handkerchief with him during all his performances. It was said that he used it to wipe away sweat, but many considered it his lucky charm. The handkerchief became his trademark. The famous Spanish painter Pablo Picasso was initially a suspect in the theft of the Mona Lisa from the Louvre Museum in 1911. The police questioned him because they had arrested his friend, the poet Guillaume Apollinaire. The investigation focused on him briefly before the real thief was found. The world's first humanoid robot was named Eric and was built in 1928 in the United Kingdom. It did not resemble modern robots. It was an aluminum suit of armor capable of sitting, standing, talking, and moving its head. It was an instant hit at fairs around the world. The famous artist Salvador Dalí collaborated with Walt Disney in 1946 on an animated short film called Destino. The project was never finished at the time, and production was halted due to financial problems. The short film was finally completed by Disney Studios in 2003, using Dalí's original sketches. Greek fire was an incendiary weapon used by the Byzantine Empire, often launched from siphons or tubes mounted on ships. The exact formula was kept secret and was so effective that it could burn even underwater. The recipe was lost, and its exact composition remains a historical mystery. The Bay of Fundy in Canada, between New Brunswick and Nova Scotia, experiences the highest tides in the world. The difference in height between high and low tide can exceed 52 feet, creating a coastal landscape that changes dramatically every 6 hours. The ocean sunfish, or mola mola, is the heaviest bony fish in the world. It can weigh up to about 5,000 pounds. Its shape is unusual, resembling a head with fins, as if the fish's rear end had been cut off. They spend much of their lives basking in the sun near the surface to regulate their temperature. The first known ice cream was consumed in China more than 3,000 years ago. It was a mixture of rice, milk, and snow or ice. This ancient recipe was a closely guarded secret for many centuries before it spread to other cultures, especially along the Silk Road. Dwarf tossing is an activity in which small people wearing protective padding are tossed onto padded surfaces to see who can throw them the farthest. Although it was popular in some bars and at parties, it has been banned in many countries due to ethical and safety concerns. Before 1858, baseball was played without the 3 strikes rule. The batter could wait for any pitch until he was hit. The change was implemented to speed up the game, as matches often dragged on too long with the previous rule, a key factor in the sport's professionalization. The famous pharaoh Tutankhamun was so interested in the afterlife that he was buried with an iron dagger made from meteorite material. Analysis of the dagger's metallic composition revealed high levels of nickel and cobalt, which are characteristic of meteorites, not the iron on Earth during his time. The ancient Romans had a goddess of sewers and drains named Cloacina. She was considered a minor deity who presided over the Cloaca Maxima sewer system and sanitation. Her temple was located in the Roman Forum, and she was venerated for her role in public health. Brush curling is a winter sport played on ice or a synthetic rink, but it uses brooms or brushes to slide and guide a granite rock. The objective is to slide the rock as close as possible to the center of a circular target, similar to Olympic curling. The key skill is sweeping the ice in front of the rock to control its trajectory and speed. Fire ants, Solenopsis invicta, can survive floods by forming massive floating rafts. The ants hook onto each other using their mandibles and legs to create a watertight structure. The raft can float for weeks until it finds dry land. The first voice spam was sent in 2003 by a company called VoicePoint, which sent recorded messages over telephone lines to fax numbers. This was before telephone spam laws were fully established. It was a nuisance that marked the transition from spam to voice lines. Gingerbread became so popular in medieval England that gingerbread men were created in the image of King Henry VIII for royal entertainment. The man's shape quickly caught on with the public. The famous mystery novelist Agatha Christie mysteriously disappeared for 11 days in 1926. Her car was found abandoned and a massive manhunt was launched. She was eventually found in a hotel registered under the name of her husband's mistress, with no memory of how she got there. The cause remains a mystery. Lake Titicaca is the highest navigable lake in the world, located on the border of Peru and Bolivia. Its high altitude of around 12,500 feet means it is subject to lower atmospheric pressure, which causes boats to float slightly differently. There is a lake in Trinidad known as Asphalt Lake, which is the world's largest natural deposit of asphalt. It is estimated to contain about 11 million tons of asphalt. Asphalt is so viscous and dense that scientists have been able to excavate prehistoric artifacts, such as the remains of giant sloths, which were preserved by the material. It has been commercially mined since the 19th century. The 1939 film Gone with the Wind had to use doubles for some scenes due to the short stature of Vivien Leigh, Scarlett O'Hara, and Leslie Howard. For certain shots, they had to stand on boxes to match the height of Clark Gable and Rhett Butler. The blue-ringed octopus, Hapaloschleina, is one of the most venomous animals in the world. Despite its small size, about the size of a golf ball, it carries enough venom, tetrodotoxin, to kill 26 adult humans in minutes. Its venom causes paralysis and subsequent respiratory arrest. The most dangerous thing is that the bite is often painless, and their blue rings flash as a warning only when they feel threatened. The famous opera singer Placido Domingo holds the record for the most stage calls and applause in opera history. In 1991, after a performance of Otello at the Vienna State Opera, he received 101 stage calls over the course of an hour and 20 minutes. When submerged in water, a laser beam, normally invisible in clear air, becomes visible due to the scattering of light by particles suspended in the water. This principle is used in laser shows and underwater demonstrations. In clean, dry air, the laser beam itself is invisible. Only the point of impact is visible. The first touchscreen was invented by scientist E. A. Johnson in 1965 for air traffic control. His design used capacitive technology and was sensitive enough to be activated by the touch of a finger. This technology remained primarily in industrial use for decades. In the 8th century, Pope Gregory IX declared that black cats were associated with Satan worship and considered them incarnations of the devil. This declaration led to a large-scale massacre of black cats in Europe. Ironically, this massive reduction in the feline population may have indirectly contributed to the spread of the bubonic plague, as the population of rats carrying fleas with the disease exploded. The explorer Roald Amundsen, who was the first to reach the South Pole in 1911, had not actually intended to go there. His original plan was to go to the North Pole. However, after other explorers claimed to have reached the North, Amundsen secretly changed his mind in the middle of his expedition and headed south. The country of San Marino, located within Italy, is the oldest existing republic. It was founded, according to legend, in 301 AD by a Christian stonemason named Marino. It has been considered a sovereign state since the 8th century and maintained its independence despite Italian unifications. Carlsbad Caverns National Park in New Mexico, United States, is home to one of the world's largest underground chambers, known as the Big Room. The most striking feature is the bat emergence ritual at dusk, when hundreds of thousands of Mexican free-tailed bats emerge from the cavern to hunt. The city of Elista in Russia is known as the chess capital of the world. Kirsan Ilyumzhinov, former president of the Elista region of Kalmykia and former president of the International Chess Federation, FIDE, invested heavily in the sport. The city is home to a complex known as Chess City, built to host international competitions. Actress Judy Garland was chosen for the role of Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, 1939. Partly due to the popularity she had gained in the film Thoroughbreds, Don't Cry, 1937. Her height was considered ideal for the role, and although she was only 16, she was forced to wear a corset to make her appear younger. Composer Igor Stravinsky was, in fact, arrested by the United States government in 1940. The reason was his unusual arrangement of the national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner, which contained a dissonance in the 7th chord. He was warned that any further unauthorized performances could result in a fine. The famous software Photoshop was originally developed in 1987 by brothers Thomas and John Knoll, who initially sold it under the name Display. They designed it for internal, personal use to help edit digital photographs. Adobe later purchased the license. Sea otters often hold hands while sleeping. They do this to prevent the current from separating them and to ensure they stay together in groups. Known as rafts, the humor lies in how incredibly tender and human the act of holding hands or hugging to avoid getting lost in the ocean seems. The infamous criminal and gangster Al Capone opened one of the first soup kitchens in Chicago during the Great Depression. Capone won the sympathy of some of the poor by providing them with free meals during a time of crisis. This was part of his strategy to improve his public image. In Japan, the process of exchanging business cards, known as maishi, is a formal ritual. The card must be handed with both hands, with the text facing the recipient. The recipient should examine it carefully before putting it away. Writing notes on it, putting it in a back pocket, or immediately putting it away is considered a great sign of disrespect. The almond belongs to the drupe family of stone fruits, like peaches and cherries. What we eat is, in fact, the seed of the almond tree's fruit. It is a botanical error to call it a nut. Furthermore, almonds have a surprising amount of calcium, being one of the richest plant sources of this mineral. Actress Marlee Matlin is the only deaf person to have won an Academy Award for Best Actress. She won the award in 1986 for her leading role in the film Children of a Lesser God. Her victory paved the way in Hollywood and highlighted the importance of deaf representation in film. The famous opera singer Enrico Caruso was the first artist in history to sell more than 1 million recorded records. His success in the early recording and playback of sound was instrumental in popularizing opera and recorded music in general in the early 20th century. Auguste Rodin's famous statue, The Thinker, was originally designed to be a much larger figure and part of a larger composition, The Gates of Hell. The figure was originally intended to represent Dante, or perhaps a poet, contemplating his work. It was not meant to be the universal symbol of contemplation that it is today. The character of Tony the Tiger, the mascot for Kellogg's Frosted Flakes cereal, was first created in 1951. Tony was not the only candidate. Other characters such as Katie the Kangaroo, Elmo the Elephant, and George the Giraffe were considered. Tony gained popularity and became the brand's only long-standing mascot. The first computer to defeat a world chess champion, Deep Blue, beat Garry Kasparov in 1997. It had an extremely specialized design. It was equipped with 480 custom-made chess microprocessors to calculate millions of moves per second. Its power was optimized solely for chess. The famous Queen Victoria of England and her husband, Prince Albert, were instrumental in popularizing the Christmas tree in the United Kingdom. Before them, it was a German tradition. A drawing of the royal family around a tree in 1848 led to the custom spreading rapidly throughout Great Britain. The World Cliff Diving Championship is a series of competitions where athletes jump from cliffs up to about 90 feet high. Divers reach speeds of up to about 53 miles per hour before hitting the water, meaning the impact is incredibly dangerous if they do not land feet first. Ancient Egypt had a very advanced medical system for its time. Medical texts, such as the Edwin Smith Papyrus, detail surprisingly accurate surgeries, sutures, and diagnostic methods. They also had specialized dentists who used a type of filling to treat cavities. Hummingbirds are the only birds that can fly backward. Their wings move in a figure-8 pattern, allowing them to hover and fly in any direction. To maintain this highly energetic flight, they need to eat twice their body weight in nectar each day. Actor Arnold Schwarzenegger had to dub his own voice for the Japanese version of The Terminator, 1984. The studio feared that Japanese audiences would not take his German accent seriously. Ironically, his accent became one of his most recognizable features in the original version. The famous jazz singer Ella Fitzgerald overcame a difficult childhood and rose to fame in the 1930s. Her incredible scat singing ability was so precise that she could perfectly imitate wind instruments with her voice. She was known as the First Lady of Song. The first internet meme to go viral in the modern sense was Ooga Chaka Baby, or Dancing Baby, in 1996. It was a simple animation of a baby dancing to a salsa tune. The image spread via email and became popular before the era of social media. Newborns have approximately 300 bones in their bodies, while an adult has only 206. The difference is due to the fact that many of a baby's bones, such as those in the skull and cartilage, fuse together during growth. This fusion makes the skeleton stronger and more resilient in adulthood. The fusion of the skull joints is not complete until adulthood. Ball lightning is a rare and scientifically unexplained atmospheric phenomenon that appears as bright, floating spheres of electricity. These balls can range in size from a golf ball to several yards across and can move slowly or hover in the air for several seconds before dissipating or exploding. Black pepper was a major driver of trade in the Middle Ages. Venetian merchants made enormous profits by controlling its trade route from Asia. It was so important that it was often called black gold. The Greek philosopher Diogenes of Sinope was an extreme cynic who lived in a barrel or large ceramic jar in Athens. He is said to have walked the streets in broad daylight with a lit lantern, claiming he was looking for an honest man or a genuine human being, implying he could not find one in Athenian society. The Code of Hammurabi, one of the oldest and best preserved sets of written laws, includes laws on medical malpractice. For example, if a doctor operated on a nobleman and the patient died or lost an eye, the doctor's hands were to be cut off. If the patient was a slave, the doctor only had to pay compensation. This code, dating from 1754 BC, demonstrates that regulating the medical professions was an ancient concern. The Great Fear, or Grande Peur, was a wave of panic and mass riots in rural France. At the beginning of the French Revolution in 1789, rumors spread that nobles were hiring bandits to plunder crops and kill people. In response, the peasants armed themselves and attacked the castles and estates of the nobility. The Congo Basin in Central Africa is the second largest tropical rainforest in the world, after the Amazon. It contains immense biodiversity and is critical for the global climate. A significant portion of this region lies within the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC. The border between Haiti and the Dominican Republic is so visible from space that it is often used as an example of environmental contrast. The Dominican side is noticeably greener due to stricter forest management, while the Haitian side, which has historically suffered severe deforestation, is a barren brown. Plitvice Lakes National Park in Croatia is famous for its 16 lakes that flow into one another at different altitudes. The lakes are renowned for the unusual phenomenon of the travertine barrier. Limestone deposited by water creates natural dams and waterfalls that constantly reshape the landscape. It is a dynamic and ever-evolving ecosystem. The horseshoe bat uses a highly specialized form of echolocation to hunt. They move their ears independently and use a horseshoe-shaped nasal structure to focus and direct sound. They can adjust the frequency of their cry to compensate for their own movement and the Doppler effect. The 1972 film The Godfather faced strong opposition from the Italian-American Civil Rights League. Director Francis Ford Coppola and producer Al Ruddy agreed to remove the words Mafia and Cosa Nostra from the script to appease the group, even though the themes were clear. Black pepper has a lesser-known counterpart, long pepper, Piper longum. This pepper, which resembles a small pine cone, was the most common pepper in ancient Rome. It was replaced by the cheaper and more easily cultivated black pepper. The famous pharaoh Ramses II was such a long-lived and prolific ruler that he is said to have fathered more than 100 children. He is believed to have lived to be about 90 years old, an extraordinary achievement for that time, and his longevity contributed to the stability of the new kingdom of Egypt. The chemical element gold, Au, is the only metal that is yellow or golden. All other metals, such as iron, lead, aluminum, and silver, are grayish or silvery. Its unique color is due to the fact that its valence electrons move at speeds close to the speed of light, which affects how they interact with and absorb visible light. If gold were not affected by relativity, it would be silvery. The Nephila golden web spider, found in many parts of the world, produces a bright yellow spider silk. This silk is incredibly strong, stronger than steel by weight. In Madagascar, this silk has even been used to weave unique textiles. The Basque pelota sport Jaya Lai, or Cesta Punta, holds the Guinness World Record as the fastest ball sport in the world. The ball can reach speeds of up to about 186 miles per hour. It is played with a curved cesta punta basket to catch and throw the ball with great force. The city of Yuma, Arizona, United States, is recognized by the Guinness Book of World Records as the sunniest place on Earth. The sun shines in Yuma for an average of 90% of daylight hours a year, which equates to more than 4,000 hours of sunshine annually. This makes it an ideal location for solar research and photovoltaic energy. The sloth is so slow that green algae often grows in its fur, helping it camouflage itself. Sloths also have a symbiotic relationship with the moths that live in their fur. The joke is that they are so slow that they become their own portable ecosystem in their own garden. United States President Abraham Lincoln was a professional wrestler before entering politics. He became famous for his strength and skill in catch-can wrestling. It is said that he only lost once in approximately 300 matches. In 18th century England, it was common for the fashion elite to wear wigs that were often infested with lice. To avoid the nuisance, some people used an accessory called a wig scratcher, a long stick that allowed them to scratch their heads under the wig without having to remove it in public. In southeastern Norway, near the town of Rjukan, giant solspiral mirrors were installed on the slopes of the surrounding mountains. Rjukan is located in a deep valley and experiences a complete lack of direct sunlight from October to March due to the shadow cast by the mountains. Mirrors direct sunlight onto the town's main square, providing residents with some sunshine during the winter months. The famous pharaoh Tutankhamun had a wooden walking stick in his tomb, carved with the likenesses of two Nubian and Asian enemies. The design allowed Tutankhamun to symbolically crush Egypt's enemies with each step. The War of Jenkins' Ear was a real conflict between Great Britain and Spain that began in 1739. The war was named after British Captain Robert Jenkins, who claimed that a Spanish Coast Guard had cut off his ear years earlier. Jenkins used the severed ear to incite war before Parliament. In Spain, it is customary for children and some adults to eat 12 grapes to the sound of the 12 strokes of midnight on December 31st. Each grape represents a wish for good luck for each of the 12 months of the new year. The tradition became popular in the early 20th century, supposedly due to a surplus of grapes in the 1909 harvest. The rattlesnake has a specialized muscle that allows it to shake its tail extremely rapidly, creating the rattling sound. This sound can reach about 100 Hz and serves as a clear acoustic warning to predators and humans to avoid contact. The 1994 film Pulp Fiction is famous for its non-linear narrative structure, but also for its low production budget for a film of that scale. A large portion of the budget went to paying the salaries of the star actors. Director Quentin Tarantino was paid only $20,000 for directing it. The famous rock musician Jimi Hendrix was fired from a James Brown backing band early in his career because his guitar playing was too flamboyant and wild. Brown, known for his precision and control, could not tolerate the improvisational and chaotic nature of Hendrix's style. The first public telephone was installed in 1889 in Hartford, Connecticut. To use it, the user had to deposit 10 cents, but the telephone did not accept coins. An attendant had to collect the money from the caller once the call was completed. Chess has a number of possible moves so large that it exceeds the number of atoms in the observable universe. This demonstrates the immense complexity and unlimited strategic potential of the game. Turtle soup was once an extremely popular luxury dish in Europe and America, especially in the 18th and 19th centuries. It was considered a sign of wealth and prestige, and turtles were often imported from the Cayman Islands and Bermuda to meet the demand. The Coca-Cola bottle's unique, slightly curved shape is the result of a 1915 design contest. The goal was to create a bottle that would be recognizable by touch in the dark, even if broken. The Root Glass Company of Terre Haute, Indiana, won the contest with a design inspired by the shape of a cacao bean. Although cacao was never an ingredient, the designer mistook it for a coca leaf. The Pharaoh's curse became popular after the discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb. Beyond superstition, the rapid death of Lord Carnarvon and the illness of other excavators are often attributed to toxic mold or dormant bacteria within the sealed tomb. The Gobi Desert in Asia, spanning parts of China and Mongolia, is not a sandy desert. Most of its surface consists of bare rock, gravel, and small patches of vegetation. Although it receives very little rainfall, it does not fit the stereotype of sand dunes. Dust mites are microscopic creatures that live in human homes. What actually triggers allergies is not the mite itself, but its droppings. A dust mite produces around 20 droppings per day. The famous director George Lucas waived his salary for directing Star Wars: A New Hope, 1977. In return, he negotiated to retain the merchandising rights to the film. This decision was incredibly shrewd, as it earned him billions of dollars, far exceeding any salary he could have earned. The rock band Led Zeppelin used a false name, the Knobs, to play a concert in Denmark in 1970. They did so after Baroness Eva von Zeppelin, a relative of airship inventor Ferdinand von Zeppelin, threatened to sue them for using her surname. Nutella began as a hazelnut and chocolate paste called Gianduja in Turin, Italy, in the early 19th century. Hazelnuts were used to stretch the chocolate. Pietro Ferrero, the inventor of Nutella, simply created a smoother, spreadable version. The 1939 film, Gone with the Wind, pioneered the use of realistic prosthetic makeup to achieve dramatic visual effects, especially in the burning Atlanta scene. Director Victor Fleming had to use special makeup and lighting effects to simulate the flames and smoke surrounding the actors without them appearing fake in the Technicolor technology. The Bay of Biscay, where golf is often played, is the only geographical feature on the planet with the letter Q in its name. The French name is Golfe de Gascogne, and the letter Q is not used in the names of major continents, oceans, or countries, making the Bay of Biscay a rare linguistic and geographical case. The character of Yoda in Star Wars was originally designed by George Lucas to be a monkey with a cane. Special effects makeup artists advised against this idea. Puppeteer Frank Oz provided the voice and operated Yoda. The famous singer-songwriter Frank Zappa was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1995. His speech was read by his son Dweezil. As Zappa had passed away, the speech was a critique of the music industry, which he had so vehemently opposed. Sourdough bread is often used in making Neapolitan pizzas. The slow fermentation of the sourdough provides a lighter, airier crust, which is a requirement for true traditional Neapolitan pizza. The Door to Hell is a natural gas crater in Derweze, Turkmenistan, that has been burning continuously since 1971. It was ignited by Soviet engineers attempting to burn off excess methane gas to prevent the spread of poisonous gas. They expected it to burn out in a few weeks, but the gas continues to fuel the fire more than 50 years later. The guillotine was proposed as a more humane and faster method of execution by physician Joseph Ignace Guillotin. He himself opposed the death penalty, but believed that a quick and less painful method was an improvement over hanging or beheading with an axe. The ancient Incas did not use an alphabetic writing system. Instead, they used a system of knotted cords called quipu to record complex information, including censuses, accounts, and possibly narratives. The key to fully decoding the quipus was lost with the Spanish conquest. The country of Ecuador is named after the equator that runs through it. The line divides the Earth into the northern and southern hemispheres, and its geographical location is a point of national pride. It has become a popular tourist destination. The saltwater crocodile is the world's largest reptile and most powerful land predator. It can hold its breath underwater for more than an hour. Its bite generates the strongest pressure of any living animal, surpassing all other predators. The hydrochloric acid in our stomach is so powerful it could dissolve a razor blade. However, the stomach does not digest itself thanks to a thick layer of mucus cells lining it and the extremely rapid renewal of these cells, which are replaced every few days. This powerful acidity is necessary to break down food and kill bacteria. The famous singer-songwriter Elton John used the first names of two of his band members, Elton Dean and John Baldry, to create his stage name. His birth name is Reginald Kenneth Dwight. This change was part of a complete reinvention of his persona. The first mass-produced electric car was the Detroit Electric, manufactured in the early 20th century. It was popular with women because it was easy to drive and did not require hand cranking. Henry Ford even bought one for his wife, Clara. There is a natural satellite of Earth called the Apollo body, which technically is not in orbit around Earth but follows a solar orbit that Earth co-orbits. It is called a quasi-satellite and is an example of a space object that remains close to Earth due to its gravitational interaction, but is not gravitationally bound to it like the Moon. English Tudor-style houses, with their striking exposed timber beams, were not originally two-toned, black and white. The timber was left natural, and often the masonry was whitewashed. The popular black and white color scheme is an invention of the Victorian era, when historically inspired renovations became fashionable. Michelangelo's famous sculpture, David, was originally intended to be placed on the roof of Florence Cathedral, the Duomo. However, after it was finished, people realized that the over 13-foot-tall statue was too heavy. It was then decided to place it in the Place de la Signoria. In the 1840s, London's Metropolitan Police, Scotland Yard, had such a small detective unit that they often had to go into disguise. Common disguises included beggars, street vendors, and laborers. This was necessary to catch criminals without being detected. The horseshoe crab, Limulus polyphemus, has a circulatory system containing a unique substance, copper-based blue blood. This blood is invaluable to science because it clots immediately in the presence of bacteria and endotoxins, making it useful for testing the sterility of vaccines and medical devices. Bouvet Island is the most remote island in the world. It is an uninhabited island in the South Atlantic, a Norwegian dependency. Its nearest landmass is Antarctica, about 1,100 miles away. It is so remote that the nearest inhabited point is Cape Town, South Africa, about 1,600 miles away. It is primarily used as a meteorological research station. Chess is played on a board of 64 squares, but a lesser-known version is circular chess. It is played on a concentric board where the pieces move in a ring pattern. This variant adds new complexities to the traditional game. There is a sunken forest in Lake Kindy in Kazakhstan. After a landslide in 1911, the valley was dammed and then flooded with rainwater, creating a lake. The trunks of Picea shrinkiana trees remain underwater, their canopies still visible above the surface. The cold water has helped preserve the trunks, creating a unique and eerie sight. American football became popular in part because it was so brutal in its early days that United States President Theodore Roosevelt threatened to ban it in 1905. The threat of a ban forced universities to drastically reform the rules to make it safer, leading to the formation of the NCAA and rules such as the forward pass. In Japan, it is considered good manners to slurp noodles like ramen or soba. Noisy slurping shows appreciation for the flavor and is a way to better enjoy the dish. The air helps cool the hot noodles. The opposite is true in Western cultures, where slurping is considered rude. Sugar was sold in pharmacies well into the 19th century, and then only as an expensive spice or a medicine for certain ailments. It did not become a staple food for mass consumption until the industrialization of sugarcane plantations and the production of beet sugar, which drastically reduced its price and made it accessible to the masses. The first car to exceed about 62 miles per hour was the La Jamais Contente, a rocket-shaped electric car. In 1899, it was driven by the Belgian Camille Janotzi. This shows that electric cars were pioneers in speed before internal combustion engines. Worcestershire sauce has an unusual ingredient: fermented anchovies. The recipe was discovered in the 1830s when chemists were commissioned to recreate an Indian sauce. Fermentation is key to its unique umami flavor. The first person to circumnavigate the globe was not Magellan. It was his Malay slave and interpreter, Henry of Malacca. He had already sailed east to Europe. When he returned to Asia with Magellan, he technically completed the circumnavigation first. The Stradivarius violin is famous for its superior sound quality, and experts believe its secret may lie in the wood used. It is theorized that the maple wood used by Antonio Stradivari grew during a prolonged cold period, a mini ice age, which slowed tree growth, resulting in denser, acoustically superior wood. The Great Wall of China was built using an unusual cement mortar. The builders used a mixture of lime, cooked glutinous rice, and water. This glutinous rice acted as an incredibly strong and durable organic binder. The Amazon basin is so large that the Amazon River alone carries more fresh water to the ocean than the 7 largest rivers in the world combined. This massive influx of fresh water influences the salinity and currents of the Atlantic Ocean. The famous artist Frida Kahlo was one of the first Mexican women to wear trousers and men's suits, defying the social norms of the time. She did so as a form of expressing her queer identity and as an act of rebellion against traditional gender roles. Golf is the only sport that has been played on the moon. Astronaut Alan Shepard hit 2 golf balls on the lunar surface during the Apollo 14 mission in 1971. Due to the low gravity and lack of air resistance, the second ball traveled, according to Shepard, miles and miles and miles. The famous explorer Marco Polo never mentioned the Great Wall of China mentioned, in fact, 663 inches. His book, The Travels of Marco Polo. This has led some scholars to question whether he actually traveled that far into China or if he was simply recounting stories from others. The country of Liechtenstein is an alpine principality between Switzerland and Austria. It is the only country in the world that is doubly landlocked, meaning that not only does it have no coastline, but all of its neighboring countries are also landlocked. Calcio storico, historical football, is a sport played in Florence, Italy. It is a brutal precursor to what we know today as football and rugby. The rules are minimal. Wrestling and punching are allowed, and players use their hands and feet to move a ball through a goal. The modern game is held annually in Piazza Santa Croce. Spiders use the surface tension of water to move through it. They can navigate ponds and rivers using their legs, which repel water. Furthermore, some spiders have been found to use silk-like sails to fly across great distances. The yellow-bellied sea snake, Pelamis platura, is the only snake that lives entirely in salt water. It spends its entire life drifting in the ocean and cannot survive on land. It uses a gland under its tongue to excrete excess salt. It is one of the most venomous snakes in the world, although it rarely interacts with humans. The Roman Emperor Constantine the Great did not convert the Roman Empire to Christianity immediately. He issued the Edict of Milan in 313 AD, which legalized Christianity and ended the persecution. He was baptized himself only on his deathbed. The saltwater crocodile has a unique physiological adaptation in its eyes. They have a reflective layer behind the retina called the tapetum lucidum, which gives them excellent night vision and makes their eyes appear to glow in the dark. The first artificial communications satellite was Telstar 1, launched in 1962. It was the first to transmit live television signals across the Atlantic Ocean, allowing Europe to watch American television and vice versa. Niagara Falls never freezes completely. Although ice accumulates along the banks and can form an impressive layer at the base of the falls, the enormous volume and speed of the water, flowing at over 3,000 tons per second, make total freezing impossible. The Devil's Bridge in Krampnitz, Germany, has a perfect circular optical effect reflected in the water. This is achieved because the Gothic design of the arch and the shape of the base are perfectly designed to reflect in the water when viewed from the correct angle. The fruit bat does not use echolocation to hunt or fly. Instead, it relies on its excellent eyesight and sense of smell to find food. This makes it different from most bats. Gibraltar is a British overseas territory that shares a land border with Spain. Remarkably, the runway at Gibraltar Airport crosses the city's main street, Winston Churchill Avenue. Vehicle and pedestrian traffic is halted by railway barriers whenever a plane lands or takes off, making this one of the most unusual airports in the world. Crows are incredibly intelligent and have a prodigious memory for human faces. If a human harms them, a crow can remember that person's face for years and even communicate that danger face to other crows, causing them to attack the person. Hadrian's Wall in England was built by the Romans to mark the northern border of their empire. The wall stretched for about 73 miles, and control of the border crossings was so strict that small forts and settlements were established at regular intervals along its length. The iconic song "I'd Like to Buy the World a Coke" was not an immediate success. When it was first released in 1971 as a radio jingle, listeners dismissed it. It was not until it was re-released with a diverse group of young people singing on a hilltop that the famous television commercial became a worldwide hit. The 1973 film, The Exorcist, was the first horror film nominated for an Academy Award for Best Picture. Its cultural impact and technical quality elevated it above genre expectations, paving the way for future horror films at the Oscars. The famous singer Elvis Presley received an honorary black belt in karate in 1960. He took the martial art very seriously and incorporated it into his stage performances. Bandy is a very popular winter sport in Russia and the Nordic countries. It is often described as ice hockey with football rules or football on skates, as it is played on an ice rink the size of a football field with 11 players per team. A small ball is used instead of a puck. It is a much older sport than ice hockey as we know it today. The shortest Formula One race in history in terms of laps is the 1975 British Grand Prix, which was stopped after only 24 of the scheduled 67 laps due to torrential rain and several accidents. In terms of time, it was the 1991 Australian Grand Prix, which lasted only 52 minutes due to rain and was stopped after 14 laps. The famous artist Frida Kahlo is the only woman to appear on a Mexican banknote. Her portrait appears on the 500 peso bill, sharing the bill with her husband, the muralist Diego Rivera, on the reverse. Argentina has the largest Welsh population outside the United Kingdom. A group of Welsh settlers arrived in Patagonia in 1865 and founded settlements, where the Welsh language and traditions are still preserved. Axolotls, Ambystoma mexicanum, are Mexican salamanders known for their amazing regenerative abilities. They can regenerate limbs, parts of the brain, and even their spinal cord without leaving scars. They are an important focus of scientific study. The musician and guitarist Eric Clapton wrote the famous song Layla about his unrequited love for Pattie Boyd, who at the time was married to his best friend, George Harrison of the Beatles. Boyd eventually married Clapton. Koalas, despite being popularly known as koala bears, do not belong to the bear family. They are marsupials, like kangaroos and wombats. They are native to Australia and spend most of their lives sleeping, up to 20 hours a day, due to the low nutritional energy provided by their exclusive diet of eucalyptus leaves. There is a place on Earth called Dalal in Ethiopia, which holds the record for being the inhabited place with the highest average annual temperature on the planet, exceeding about 93 degrees Fahrenheit annually. This hyper-acidic landscape is full of salt formations, sulfur springs, and toxic gases. The famous Windows startup sound used in Windows 95 was composed by musician and producer Brian Eno. He created it on a Macintosh computer and was inspired by futuristic and celestial sounds. Eno was commissioned by Microsoft to create a piece of music that lasted exactly 3.25 seconds. Authentic wasabi, when grated, loses its spiciness very quickly, in about 15 minutes, because the chemical compounds that produce the heat evaporate. Therefore, in Japan, it is traditionally grated only in the necessary amount just before consuming it with sushi. It is grated using a grater made of shark skin. Gold, unlike many other metals, is completely inert and does not react with oxygen, meaning it does not oxidize or corrode. For this reason, gold is considered a noble metal. This property is crucial not only for jewelry, but also for electronics and dental applications, where durability is essential. In the 16th century, the Russian Tsar Ivan the Terrible, obsessed with the idea that his main rival was not a prince but a web-weaving spider, organized a military expedition to capture or kill the creature. He did so to demonstrate that his power extended even to mythical creatures or plagues. Actress Audrey Hepburn was one of the inspirations for the character of Princess Aurora in Disney's 1959 film Sleeping Beauty. Animators studied her elegant and delicate movements to bring the princess to life, and they were also inspired by actress Helen Stanley. Before erasers were invented, European writers and artists often used crumbs of damp white bread to remove pencil marks from their documents. This method remained popular until 1770, when an English engineer discovered rubber's erasing properties, creating the erasers we use today. The famous Kellogg's cereal slogan, "They are grr are reet," for Tony the Tiger, was originally voiced by voice actor Thurl Ravenscroft. Thurl was also the voice of the villain in The Grinch, and his deep voice became the character's signature. Ravenscroft voiced Tony the Tiger for over 50 years. The Nile River is unusual because it flows from south to north, emptying into the Mediterranean Sea. Contrary to intuition, rivers flow in the direction of the slope of the land, not necessarily from north to south. This unique flow has been vital to the development of Egyptian civilization throughout history. In 1904, an elephant named Topsy became a tragic example of animal cruelty when he was publicly executed by electrocution by Thomas Edison's electric company on Coney Island. Topsy had killed 3 men, including an abusive trainer, and Edison used the filmed execution to promote the supposed superiority of his direct current, DC, over the alternating current, AC, of his rival Nikola Tesla. The Republic of Kiribati, an island nation in the Pacific Ocean, has the distinction of being the only country in the world that spans all 4 hemispheres, north, south, east, and west. This is due to its distribution across 33 atolls and islands. Its capital, Tarawa, is located in the northern hemisphere, and the international dateline bends to include all of its islands. Wormholes are hypothetical solutions to Einstein's equations of general relativity that could act as shortcuts through space-time. While their theoretical existence is possible, they would require an immense amount of exotic matter with negative energy pressure. The infamous pirate Blackbeard, Edward Teach, was known not only for his beard but also for tying slow-burning cannon fuses to his hair and beard before battle. The smoldering, burning fuses created a terrifying and demonic appearance, which was part of his psychological strategy to intimidate his opponents and make them surrender without a fight. The composer Antonio Vivaldi was nicknamed Il Prete Rosso, the Red Priest, not because of his political ideology, but because of the color of his hair. Vivaldi was an ordained Catholic priest, though he rarely offered Mass. His distinctive red hair was a notable feature among his contemporaries in Venice. There is a place in the world called Tornado Alley in the United States that is not fixed. The area where tornadoes occur most frequently shifts and changes with time and climate change. Although it is associated with Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas, intense activity has pushed the central area eastward. Sepak takraw is so physically demanding that players use a technique called the roll spike, an inverted bicycle kick, to send the ball over the net. The kick is performed by jumping, twisting the body, and swinging the leg over the shoulder. This movement requires extreme core flexibility and strength. The famous pirate Sir Francis Drake, during the Elizabethan era, was actually a privateer, meaning he had permission from Queen Elizabeth I to attack and plunder Spanish ships. He was also the first Englishman to circumnavigate the globe. His legal piracy made him a national hero in England and a terror in Spain. During the First World War, the German army trained dogs to be messengers, carrying notes across trenches and through no man's land. These dogs were often more reliable than human messengers, as they were faster and offered a smaller target. The Gobi Desert, which stretches across parts of China and Mongolia, is expanding at an alarming rate due to desertification. The Gobi's expansion is driven by overgrazing and drought. Sandstorms from this desert affect countries as far away as Korea and Japan. The sportswear brand Adidas gets its name from the nickname of its founder, Adolf Adi Dassler. The name is a combination of his nickname and the first three letters of his last name. Ironically, his brother Rudolf founded the rival company Puma after a family feud. Herman Melville's famous novel Moby Dick is based on real events, inspired by the sinking of the whaling ship Essex in 1820. The ship was rammed and sunk by an unusually large sperm whale in the Pacific Ocean. The few survivors spent months adrift in lifeboats, resorting to cannibalism. Melville met one of the last survivors of the tragedy. The CD was designed to hold Beethoven's Ninth Symphony in its entirety, which lasts approximately 74 minutes. The final size of about 4.7 inches in diameter was decided in part to meet this duration requirement. This decision was made by Norio Oga, then president of Sony. The South American country of Suriname is notable for its immense forest cover, with over 90% of its territory covered by rainforest. This vast expanse of forest makes it one of the countries with the lowest percentage of deforestation in the world. Its rainforests are vital to Amazonian biodiversity. The caps lock key was originally invented for typewriters, where it was necessary to lock the letters in uppercase to type names or titles. However, its use declined drastically with the advent of computers, and it has become a shortcut key that is often considered annoying in the context of the internet and messaging, where it is equivalent to shouting. The Mesoamerican ballgame, Pak Ta Pak, is one of the oldest team sports in the world. In its oldest and most ritualistic version, players tried to pass a heavy rubber ball through a high-mounted stone hoop without using their hands or feet. The game often had ritual significance, and in some cases, the losing or winning team was sacrificed. Leafcutter ants of Central and South America do not eat the leaves they cut. Instead, they use the plant material to cultivate a specific type of fungus in their nests, which is their primary food source. Essentially, they are highly organized farmers who maintain a unique symbiosis with the fungus. The famous guitar solo in Led Zeppelin's song Stairway to Heaven was recorded in a single take. Guitarist Jimmy Page confessed that it took him many hours to rehearse it. But when it came time for the final recording, he felt so inspired that he did it in one take. Mickey Mouse was the first cartoon character to receive a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 1978. This recognition underscored his immense cultural impact and his status as a global icon. It was a testament to the importance of animation in the entertainment industry. In ancient Rome, Tyrian purple was so valuable that its use was reserved exclusively for the emperor and royalty. The dye was obtained from the glands of a small murex marine snail, and thousands of them were needed to produce even a small amount. This exclusivity made purple a symbol of absolute power and status. Sulfuric acid is the most widely produced industrial chemical in the world, and its global demand is often used as an indicator of the strength of a country's industrial activity. It is crucial in the manufacture of fertilizers, detergents, car batteries, and in mineral processing. Sepak takraw has an even more extreme variant in Malaysia, called sepak raga jaring, where the net is much higher and the pace of play is incredibly fast. This sport requires players to develop cat-like reflexes and enormous lung capacity. It is a traditional discipline in constant evolution. The famous Pringles mascot, Julius Pringle, originally had a much fuller hairline and a more disheveled appearance when he was introduced in 1967. Over time, he has been simplified and modernized to look cleaner and have a more iconic mustache, an effort to make him more globally recognizable. The modulator demodulator, or modem, was invented by the United States Air Force in the 1950s. It was used to transmit binary data over telephone lines for the SAJ air defense system, the first computerized radar system. This military need was the direct precursor to broadband internet access. The Coca-Cola Company went 70 years without publicly disclosing that Coca-Cola contained caffeine. In the brand's early days, they advertised that consuming it helped people avoid coffee without mentioning its own stimulant content. The caffeine content was only revealed to the public in the 1960s. In Victorian times, it was common for people to take post-mortem photographs with their deceased relatives, often making them appear alive. The bodies were posed in chairs, with their eyes open or painted, as a way to maintain a lasting memory of their loved ones. Australia's Great Barrier Reef became world-famous starting in 1929 thanks to the work of J.L.P. McNair, who began taking underwater photographs with the help of a modified diving helmet. His work, initially in black and white and later in color, revealed the reef's beauty to an audience that had never before been able to imagine it. Fort Dunvegan in Scotland, home to Clan MacLeod, houses a legendary relic, the Fairy Banner. This silk banner is said to have the power to save the clan from defeat 3 times. The banner has only been unfurled twice in history, so the clan has one last use of its power. The city of La Paz, Bolivia, is the highest administrative capital in the world, situated at over about 11800 feet above sea level. Due to the high altitude, the inhabitants have a naturally greater lung capacity. Unusually, the air is so thin that sports teams playing there often require a period of acclimatization. In the 1972 film The Godfather, director Francis Ford Coppola intentionally introduced oranges into key scenes. The fruit is a subtle symbol of death or impending danger in the film. Every time an orange appears, it usually follows a moment of violence, betrayal, or misfortune. The hard rock band AC/DC chose their name after the sister of founders Malcolm and Angus Young saw the abbreviation AC/DC for alternating current direct current on a sewing machine. They liked the abbreviation's connotation of power and energy, thinking it reflected the intensity of their music. Fingerhackeln, finger wrestling, is a traditional Bavarian and Austrian sport involving 2 men sitting opposite each other, hooking one finger, usually the middle finger, through a small leather ring. The objective is to pull the opponent down onto a table. It is a very serious and painful sport. The inventor and artist Leonardo da Vinci was a strict vegetarian. In his notes, he criticized the killing of animals, and his diet consisted of vegetables, fruits, and grains. He was also an advocate for ecology and is often cited as a precursor to the animal and environmental protection movements. The Bellrock Lighthouse in Scotland is the oldest working lighthouse in the world still located at sea. It was built between 1807 and 1810 by Robert Stevenson. Legend has it that the location was chosen because a monk had tried to warn sailors about the rocks with a bell, but it was stolen, causing shipwrecks. The 1991 film, The Silence of the Lambs, is one of only 3 films in the history of the Academy Awards to win all 5 major awards: Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Actress, and Best Original Screenplay. The other 2 are It Happened One Night and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Camel wrestling is a traditional sport in Turkey. 2 specially trained male camels compete by pushing each other. The fight ends when one of the camels flees, screams, or falls. The sport is held annually during the camel's mating season. The tomato ketchup we know today has an unusual origin. Early ketchups did not contain tomatoes. They were fermented sauces made from anchovies, nuts, mushrooms, or oysters. Tomato ketchup became popular in the 19th century in the United States when more ingredients and vinegar were added to prevent spoilage. The Roman Emperor Commodus, around the year 180 AD, was known for his megalomania, even participating in gladiatorial combats in the arena. He often did so dressed as Hercules. His opponents were mostly injured or lame gladiators or defenseless prisoners, and they were expected to lose to the emperor. The Carnation Revolution in Portugal in 1974 was one of the most peaceful transitions of power in history. The military coup against the authoritarian regime was characterized by the population placing red carnations in the muzzles of soldiers' rifles. The symbolism of the flower prevented bloodshed. The famous Trojan horse of Greek mythology, used to infiltrate the fortified city, may actually have been a sophisticated siege battering ram in the shape of a horse. An alternative theory suggests that the horse was a ship called the Horse, or even an earthquake associated with the god Poseidon. Cairo, the capital of Egypt, has such a dense urban population and such chaotic traffic that, at one point, people were employed as car sliders to move stuck vehicles. The city faces unique infrastructure challenges due to its immense population and rapid urban growth. The first interactive computer video game was Space War, created in 1962 by MIT students, including Steve Russell. The game featured 2 spaceships firing at each other while orbiting a central star. It ran on one of the first mini-computers of the time, the PDP-1. The Scottish stick-throwing competition tossing the caber involves lifting and throwing a long, heavy tree trunk so that it lands with the end that was originally at the top. The score is not based on distance, but on the accuracy of the throw, landing it in the 12 o'clock position. The island of Madagascar separated from the African continent about 160 million years ago. Its geological isolation has resulted in a unique evolution, with about 90% of its wildlife endemic, including lemurs. It is such a unique ecosystem that it is often called the 8th continent. Hummingbirds have such a fast metabolism that, if they were the size of a human, they would have to consume twice their body weight in food every day. To conserve energy at night, they can enter a state of torpor or temporary inactivity, which slows their heart rate from about 1,200 to about 50 beats per minute. Actress Carrie Fisher, Princess Leia, and her mother, actress Debbie Reynolds, lived in neighboring houses in the same complex in the Hollywood Hills for many years. After Carrie's death, her mother died the following day. Both iconic actresses were buried together in Forest Lawn Cemetery in Hollywood. Writer Ernest Hemingway not only survived World War I and the Spanish Civil War, but he also survived 2 plane crashes on 2 consecutive days in Africa. The second crash was more serious, and when reporters arrived, they found him reading a book while joking about his bad luck. Electric eels can generate an electric discharge of up to 600 volts. They use these discharges not only to hunt and stun their prey, but also to navigate. They create an electric field around themselves that allows them to detect objects and prey, even in murky water. The 1982 film E.T. The Extraterrestrial marked the film debut of actress Drew Barrymore at just 7 years old. The film was shot in chronological order, allowing the young actress to develop a genuine connection with the E.T. puppet, which helped make her reactions more authentic as the story unfolded. Red-bellied piranhas are not the voracious blood predators often portrayed in films. They primarily feed on fish, insects, and plants. However, in large numbers and during periods of drought or famine, they can attack and devour larger animals. This reputation has been exaggerated by Hollywood. The composer George Frederick Handel wrote the famous choral piece Messiah, which includes the Hallelujah, in just 24 days in 1741. This breakneck pace of composition is a testament to his genius. It is said that the process was so intense that he neither ate nor slept for long periods. Black pepper, used as a seasoning all over the world, was once so valuable in the Middle Ages that it was used as a form of currency. In some transactions, pepper was preferred to gold or silver. Its high value made it an important driver of maritime trade. The city of Perth, Australia, is recognized in the Guinness Book of World Records as the most isolated capital city in the world. Its nearest city with more than 1,000,000 inhabitants is Adelaide, which is about 1,307 miles away. This isolation has contributed to a distinctive local culture and a high cost of living. Guitar strings are not made of catgut, despite the term being used historically. Today, they are primarily made of nylon, steel, or silk. The idea that they were once made of cat intestines is likely due to a misinterpretation of the term kit string, small violin string, over time. The Turtles' song Happy Together was rejected by 11 different record labels before becoming a #1 hit in 1967. The persistent efforts of the band and their manager finally paid off. This initial rejection underscores the difficulty of predicting success in the music industry. Pillow fighting is celebrated as an official sport in Japan. Competitors battle on futons with pillows and use an alarm clock as a weapon. The Japanese version is so serious that it has specific rules, including a ban on family ties between teams. French fries were originally invented in Belgium, not France, even though they are often called fries. Belgian villagers used to fry small fish. When the river froze, they began frying potatoes using the same technique. American soldiers in World War I tried them and called them French after the language spoken in southern Belgium. The Vikings used a type of sundial made of wood with a central needle to navigate on cloudy days. It is theorized that they also used sun crystal or calcite to determine the sun's position even through dense fog. This allowed them to cross the North Atlantic with surprising accuracy. The famous pianist and composer Frédéric Chopin was so frail that he often composed in a melancholic state and even sometimes hallucinated. It has been theorized that he suffered from temporal lobe epilepsy, which may have influenced the dreamlike and sometimes somber character of his music. Curling is played on granite stones that come from only two places in the world: Ailsa Craig in Scotland and, to a lesser extent, North Wales. The granite from Ailsa Craig is so strong and pure that it is the preferred material for the Olympic Games. Instant ramen noodles were invented in 1958 by Momofuku Ando in Japan. He did it after World War II, looking for a cheap and quick way to feed the population. His invention, chicken ramen, revolutionized food and is considered one of the greatest Japanese inventions of the 20th century. The 1994 film The Lion King has a surprising connection to the music of Elton John. The singer-songwriter is responsible for the film's music, including songs like Can You Feel the Love Tonight and Circle of Life. The film almost omitted the scene where the song is performed, but it was restored at the musician's request. The extreme motorcycle show in a metal sphere uses centrifugal force to perform stunts on vertical and horizontal walls. This adrenaline-pumping and skillful show leaves everyone speechless. It is perfect for speed and thrill lovers. The sand painting that changes landscapes when flipped is a masterpiece of creativity. The sand falls, forming different landscapes with controlled flow speed. Each turn reveals a new scene, creating a unique visual experience. It is perfect for interactive art lovers. The Flip-O-Flip metal toy rolls and spins on the table, ideal for training, patience, and coordination. This classic toy is perfect for all ages, offering hours of entertainment. It is a toy that never goes out of style. Howard Lee, a hyper-realistic optical illusion artist, creates drawings and paintings that look real. He plays with visual perception and explains his artistic process in videos. His works are fascinating and challenge perceived reality. A true master of illusion. Cookies soften as they absorb moisture due to their sugar and salt content, while baguettes, with less of these ingredients, dry out and harden in the air. It is a natural process that affects the texture of these foods. Curious, but true. Ray, the golden retriever with a single ear in the center of her head, went viral for her unique and adorable appearance. After an accident, her ear moved and now looks like a unicorn. She is a little star on social media. Lollipopter is an object that looks like a twisted lollipop and changes shape when you turn it. It can be used as a stress relief toy or desk decoration. It is a fun way to relax and decorate. Aerogogo inflatable furniture inflates quickly at the touch of a button and supports up to about 660 pounds. With a rechargeable battery, it is ideal for small spaces or events. These are practical and modern solutions. The €5,000 burger features luxury ingredients such as caviar, white truffle, and edible gold leaf on the bun. It is an exclusive and luxurious dining experience, perfect for the most discerning palates. The Dock Audio V9 Pixie sound meter has a retro style and Nixie tubes that display the sound spectrum on LEDs. It decorates and visualizes your music in a vintage way. It is ideal for music lovers and tech enthusiasts. The Looking Glass Portrait holographic monitor lets you view photos, videos, and 3D models without glasses. It uses light field technology to display over 100 perspectives at 60 frames per second, compatible with Windows, Mac, and Linux. It is a revolution in visualization. Ritter, the 17th century writing automaton, is a mechanical doll with over 6,000 moving parts capable of writing complete sentences. Considered a marvel of engineering and early robotics, it is a historical treasure. The 30-inch Ultra Reality X10 monitor offers a headset-free 3D experience. It uses advanced computational optics to create depth and realism in videos and games. Total Immersion, the Papantla Flyers ceremony in Veracruz, Mexico, is a Totonac tradition where 4 people descend spinning from a tall pole, while another plays music at the top. It has deep cultural and spiritual significance. A vibrant celebration. A triathlon is a competition that combines swimming, cycling, and running into a single event. It demands endurance, strategy, and adaptability. It is a challenge for the most well-rounded athletes. The NanoAF PW Desk Dock is a desktop accessory with storage and customizable LED lighting that syncs to music. With a USB hub, it transforms your desk into a functional and attractive workspace. Style and functionality combined. The Inception spinning tops are exact, high-precision replicas of the spinning top from the movie Inception. Capable of spinning for up to 10 minutes on normal surfaces, there are 16 different models. They are collectible items and serve as a visual distraction and conversation starter, perfect for fans and collectors. Specs geodes are pentagon-shaped magnets that allow you to create complex geometric figures with over 100 combinations. They work as a stress reliever and are ideal for your desk or office. Fun and relaxation in one product. The Alo harness for blind dogs is a special harness with a front ring that acts as a tactile sensor to prevent collisions. It allows blind dogs to walk more safely and confidently, improving the quality of life for our canine friends. The iPhone case with a physical keyboard is an iPhone case that incorporates a physical keyboard. It allows you to type quickly without losing screen space or sacrificing touch control. It offers productivity and convenience in one accessory. SurgiField is a portable operating room that fits in a backpack and is set up in minutes. It has a sterile bubble, battery, and a control module for operating in remote areas without hospitals. It allows for urgent surgeries in hard-to-reach places with quality and safety, saving lives anywhere. The Striker device for training boxing at home is compact and has sensors that provide real-time feedback. It connects to apps and is ideal for boxers in training. It is professional training at your fingertips. Tuba Shishman is a Turkish artist famous on YouTube for making hyper-realistic cakes that look like real objects. His creations are true edible works of art. A unique talent. The Jellyfish Mood Lamp Humidifier generates jellyfish-shaped mist, LED lights, and aromatherapy. Controllable by voice or app, It creates a relaxing atmosphere. It brings technology and nature together in one object. German cyclist Robert Fürstemann, known as the man with legs of steel, excels in sprints for his power. He is an impressive athlete with a unique technique, combining speed and strength on two wheels. In Lagos, Nigeria, Dr. David Tolarawa created the world's largest single-person drawing, covering about 10800 square feet. It is an artistic and medical achievement, combining passion and skill, and an impressive record. Helicopters use the DART system to land in water with waves up to about 20 feet high. This technology saves lives in maritime rescues, a key innovation in rescue operations. Dalmatians are energetic dogs, historically used as carriage dogs and in fire departments. Their energy and loyalty make them ideal companions, faithful and courageous friends. In Huntington Beach, California, 66 people surfed on a giant board for 12 seconds in 2015. This Guinness World Record is a testament to the skill and fun of surfing, an impressive feat. Real Power, formerly known as RealPack, is a self-deploying inflatable barrier for containing oil spills. This innovative solution helps protect the environment, technology serving nature. Sierra Space is testing its life space habitat for lunar and Martian missions. This NASA project is a crucial step towards space exploration, shaping the future of life in space. The first computer mouse was created in 1964 by Douglas Engelbart. This revolutionary invention forever changed the way we interact with computers, a true technology pioneer. Static whiteboards, formerly known as magnetic boards, use static electricity to adhere to surfaces without damaging them. They are ideal for educational and professional environments, combining functionality and environmental responsibility. The Bayeux Tapestry, an embroidery about 230 feet long, recounts the Norman conquest of England in the year 1066. This 11th century masterpiece is a historical and artistic treasure, a journey through time. The largest paper airplane, measuring about 45 feet in length, was launched in Arizona, United States, using reinforced cardboard for aerodynamic testing. This 2012 record demonstrates creativity and engineering, soaring high with paper. Harley Quinn, formerly known as Harley King, was created for the 1992 Batman animated series and later incorporated into DC Comics. This character has evolved in comics and on screen, becoming an iconic anti-heroine. Discharged alkaline batteries bounce due to the formation of hydrogen gas that hardens their interior. It is a fascinating physical phenomenon and useful for identifying spent batteries, science in action. NASA spacesuits cost up to $150 million and include integrated life support systems. These suits are essential for the survival and success of space missions, representing cutting-edge technology. The Ember Smart Mug controls beverage temperature and offers interactive entertainment with an integrated LED screen. The Ember Mug 2 is perfect for keeping your drinks at the ideal temperature. It is ideal for coffee and tea lovers, combining technology and style in one mug. Unitree G1, formerly known as Unit G1, is a humanoid robot that accurately replicates kung fu movements using machine learning. This robot demonstrates the advanced integration of artificial intelligence in robotics, an impressive demonstration of technology. The Sarcos Guardian rescue robot, formerly known as Sprout, scans debris with thermal sensors and LiDAR to locate victims. It is a crucial tool in rescue operations, and its accuracy saves lives. Technology at the service of life. The Relight 360 reflector, formerly known as the 360 reflector, is a battery-free reflective spoke system for bicycles. An innovative and safe Danish solution. It improves nighttime visibility, visibility guaranteed. The Gameser X3 Pro, formerly known as the Gamest X3 Pro controller, is a Peltier-cooled controller for mobile gaming. Play cooler and more comfortably. Perfect for passionate gamers. Uninterrupted gameplay. The Logitech MX vertical mouse, formerly known as the Argo Twister, has an ergonomic design to prevent injuries. It is perfect for users seeking comfort. It reduces wrist fatigue, health, and productivity. The Icon of the Seas, formerly known as the Star of the Seas, is a Royal Caribbean cruise ship powered by LNG engines and featuring virtual reality. A unique and sustainable travel experience, it offers immersive entertainment, luxury, and technology at sea. The Air Garden's smart terrarium, formerly known as the Petite Ferret Plus, controls light and humidity through an app for tropical plants. It is ideal for tech-savvy gardeners. Create an optimal environment, green care at your fingertips. The conference bike, better known as Kobai, has a circular design for 7 people, created by Eric Stoller. This radial configuration fosters collaboration and interaction. It is perfect for dynamic and creative meetings. Casey Zavaglia's hyper-realistic embroideries are textile works of art with microscopic details. Each stitch tells a story, creating vivid and detailed images. It is a perfect fusion of art and patience. Seatsender self-propelled chairs use a robotic system in airports to guide passengers. This technology from Crown Equipment improves efficiency and comfort. Traveling becomes easier and faster. Ephemeral art on beaches creates gigantic drawings visible from aerial views, like the works of Andres Amador. These temporary creations leave a striking visual imprint. It is art that engages with nature. The Lumaku Light Cube is an interactive projector with motion sensors. It transforms any surface into an art gallery. It is ideal for creating a creative atmosphere in your space. The Amazon Echo Hub panel offers touch control for smart home devices, such as lights, locks, and thermostats. This official Amazon product simplifies home control. Smart home at your fingertips. The Lunatech HydroShot multi-purpose bottle transforms water into a jet, mist, or pressure washer with manual pumping. Ideal for camping in the beach, it is a registered trademark. Versatility in your backpack. The Swell Surfer Pro Surf Simulator is a platform with pressure sensors and virtual reality for indoor training. Compatible with Oculus Meta, it offers a realistic surfing experience. Improve your technique at home. The Nomadic Office Backpack includes a fold-down desk and insulated laptop compartments. Winner of the Red Dot Design Award, it is perfect for professionals on the go. The Sea Eagle 285 FPB inflatable fishing boat has a built-in electric motor that provides 30 pounds of thrust and a removable rigid floor. With room for 4 people, it is versatile and durable. Guaranteed aquatic adventure. The SentrySafe QAP1BE safe offers programmable locking, an anti-tamper alarm, and a child lock. UL listed for fire protection, it secures your valuables. Peace of mind. The Sleep Number 360 smart bed regulates temperature by zone and has snoring and biometric sensors. With Sleep IQ technology, it improves the quality of your sleep. Rest Smart. The LeviMoon levitating lamp floats magnetically and rotates silently with adjustable RGB lighting. Its diameter of about 6 inches and accuracy to real lunar craters make it unique. Tech Decor. The Invisible House Joshua Tree features low-E mirrored glass panels and a Corten steel frame. Winner of the 2022 AIA Design Award, it blends seamlessly into its surroundings. Innovative architecture. The Neo Ruler X has an e-ink touchscreen and laser measurement with automatic metric conversion. Accurate to about 0.002 inches, it is ideal for construction professionals. Precise digital measurements. The EverySight Raptor AR glasses project HUD information onto the retina and provide LiDAR sensor alerts. Developed for professional cyclists, they enhance safety and the riding experience. Technology for cyclists. The Mangata Power Station charger includes 5 removable 5,000 mAh batteries with Qi wireless charging. With IP67 water and dust protection, it is perfect for travel, portable, and long-lasting power. The Eno Nomad hammock system has a foldable 7,075 aluminum frame and thermo-regulating pockets. With a maximum weight capacity of about 400 pounds, it is ideal for outdoor adventures. Comfort and durability. The Forpheus is not your average ping-pong robot. It is an AI-powered trainer. It uses 3D cameras to analyze your movements with millimeter precision. It has a battery that lasts for 5 hours of intense matches. It is the ultimate rival you will never tire of facing. Shred washes hair with 12 ultra-soft robotic fingers. Its 24 sensors adapt the pressure with millimeter precision. Originally designed for Japanese hospitals, the shampoo of the future is here. Bebop Heatem keeps your food hot like no other. It precisely controls the temperature between about 104 and 158 degrees Fahrenheit. Its PTFE surface is safe and non-stick. Say goodbye to cold dishes at your meals. Skytran is an elevated autonomous transportation system that functions like a futuristic cable car. It travels on magnetic rails above traffic without touching the ground. Already implemented in cities like Tel Aviv and Gurgaon, India, its capsules are small, fast, and quiet. It promises to change urban mobility as we know it. The Hyundai EVC robot automatically connects your electric car without you having to get out. It detects the charging port's position and adjusts the angle with millimeter precision. It uses V2L, vehicle-to-load, technology for efficient charging. It is also compact and easy to integrate into parking lots. Touchless charging is now a reality. The Bike Bunker capsule protects bicycles with its ultra-resistant HDPE polyethylene design. It features a high-security ABUS granite lock and IP65 protection. Its curved structure blocks rain, dust, and vandalism. Weighing only about 40 pounds, it is easy to install. Your bike sleeps safely, even on the street. The Jetson Bolt Pro 3-in-1 is a fusion of skateboard, scooter, and folding bike. It features STVZO LED lights for enhanced visibility and nighttime safety. It boasts a range of up to about 28 miles on just 2 hours of charging. Its compact design fits in car trunks or under desks. Stylish urban mobility with zero hassle. Marginally art is making a comeback in modern books with illustrations in the margins of the pages. Artists like Tegan White and Benjamin Lacombe have taken it to another level. This technique originates from medieval illuminated manuscripts. It adds a visual and poetic layer to traditional reading, transforming it into a more magical experience. The Descartes bottle is a classic physics experiment that teaches about pressure. Squeezing the bottle and the dropper causes it to float or sink depending on the applied force. It demonstrates Archimedes' principle and air compression. It is ideal for children or students curious about science. A simple trick that explains complex laws. The ACE HRP-5P robot is a humanoid designed for high-risk work. Its specialty is railway maintenance, which requires high precision. It has arms with 7 axes of mobility and uses the ROS system. It can lift objects, tighten screws, or open doors. It is a steel worker who never asks for a break. TapStrap 2 is a wearable that turns your gestures into digital commands. It uses EMG technology, that is, electromyography, to read muscle movements. Compatible with Bluetooth 5, it connects to smartphones, tablets, and PCs. You can type, control apps, or play games without using a keyboard. Your body is now also a smart controller. The 3D mural of Pijac's parrot in Barcelona seems to magically pop off the wall. It uses the anamorphic trompe-l'oeil technique with great realism. Depending on the angle, the parrot changes shape and intensity. It merges street art with high-level optical illusion. Jetpacks exist and have been tested for tasks such as rescue operations and demonstrations. But their use is limited. There is no verified record of deliveries at Glastonbury as claimed. Their range is very short, between 5 and 10 minutes maximum. Furthermore, they cost around $4,000,000 each. They are not yet viable for daily deliveries. And this is all. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more Zarpado facts.